Capital One's presentation of ESPN Bowl Week.
For years, the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl has been a jewel of bowl week, with high-scoring, wildly exciting matchups filled with big plays. This year promises to be no exception, with 14th-ranked Washington State taking on 5th-ranked Texas in their first meeting in over 40 years. The high-powered Texas Longhorns have been ringing bells on offense all season, tallying 40-plus points on 8 occasions. Their quarterback has a rocket arm, speed to burn, and unlimited creativity. They've got an angular wide receiver with all the skill in the world, certain to be shining on Sundays. And most of all, they've got the bruiser in the backfield, a battering ram that just keeps on pounding. But the Texas offense may well meet its match against the big play unit of Washington State. The Cougars make their impact with their defenses on the field with a gambling, aggressive style that gets results. 43 sacks, 45 takeaways, 5 defensive touchdowns. It's a classic confrontation of X's and O's. Fasten your seatbelts for another classic collision in San Diego. Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego, California. It's the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. As number 14, the Washington State Cougars, 9-3 on the year, take on the 5th-ranked Texas Longhorns, who are 10-2. And the best news we could give you, the 70% chance of rain is gone. Sun is shining. We got a beautiful night for a shootout. Kickoff coming up next. Welcome to Capital One's presentation of ESPN Bowl Week. It's the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl, as number 14 Washington State takes on the number 5-ranked Texas Longhorns. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin along with Mike Gottfried, and welcome to an absolutely gorgeous night here in San Diego, a night that we simply didn't think was going to happen because all the forecasters have been saying for a week, rain, rain, mudslides in the mountains. None of that has happened, thank goodness. So again, the Holiday Bowl is going to be dry. Matt Kegel is the starting quarterback for Washington State. First, his left shoulder. He got it separated. Then his right shoulder. And Mike, he is playing with as much pain tonight. This is a gutsy performance. We haven't seen him yet, but this is a tough kid to play under these conditions.
Yeah, Washington State hasn't protected Matt Kegel in the last 5 football games. He's been knocked around. They have to protect him because they're going to have some chances for some big plays against a Texas defense who plays man coverage. DeVar Darling, a big play wide receiver.
No question. The new head coach for Washington State University, Bill Doba. And an interesting thing that he said day before yesterday in our meeting. He said, they didn't select me as a head coach. They told me I was going to be the new head coach, co-coach of the year in the Pac-10 this season. And across the way, Mack Brown, in his 6th season, needs one more victory to hit the 60 mark, which would give him an average of 10 wins per season. Adrian Karsten down on the sideline. What do you got for us to open it up tonight?
Ron, I have the latest update on Matt Kegel, quarterback for Washington State, who with that deep bruise to that right throwing shoulder is still having a lot of pain. It was evident to me in pregame warm-up, in which he came out 15 minutes after the rest of the quarterbacks on the squad just because he was taking more treatment. When you consider how aggressive the Texas defense can and is, and how they can be, you get the impression, Ron, that he may be just 1 or 2 hits away from being knocked out of this game. Remember, Texas for the last 4 years has led the nation in quarterback sacks with 162.
Okay, Adrian, let's take a look at that weather that we talked about off the top of the telecast tonight. 59 degrees. It's a really pleasant evening. The wind is negligible, and the forecast is mostly cloudy. They've taken rain out of there. So a beautiful night here in San Diego. The record is it has rained before, and it has rained after this Holiday Bowl, but it has never rained during the game. Hayden Fry on the right, and, of course, the gentleman on the left, the longtime head coach for the BYU Cougars.
LaVell Edwards did a great job at BYU.
I'll tell you what, both of these guys brought a lot of excitement to their universities. Of course, Hayden at SMU used to take on these same Texas Longhorns, then moved on to Iowa. And for LaVell, well, he just had a fabulous career. And in fact, he brought his team here to San Diego 11 times while he was the head coach there. Washington State has won the toss and they defer, so Texas will receive. And the folks from the Northwest, Mike Wanton, they're anxious to get that defense out on the field and see how much havoc they can create.
Well, they're going to have to face this young man right here, Vincent Young, because when you blitz and you have a quarterback that can run the ball like Vincent Young, sometimes that spells big trouble.
Sedarius tees the ball up at the 35-yard line. There you take a look at Shelvin Young. One of the two deep men for the Texas Longhorns in a shot of his capacity house here in San Diego. Still some folks fouling in. Terrell Brown is the other deep back along with Young, and we are set to go. Here comes the kick. At the 2003 Pacific Life Holiday Bowl is underway, and this is Brown. Brown caught from behind, and he'll be stopped at the 23-yard line. So the starter at quarterback, the young man that Mike was just talking about, and actually, when you watch Vince, sometimes people say he is a freak of nature because at 6'5", 225, people this big are not supposed to be able to move the way he does, but a 4'4" sprinter. And Mike, sometimes it's like trying to tackle Gumby.
Yeah, it really is tough, and he's 6-0 as a starter. So since he's come on the scene, Texas offense has been at a rapid pace.
And if you've never seen Washington State play, keep one thing in mind. They will blitz on almost every play, and here they come. Quick out pass goes to Williams, and Roy Williams going to be hit immediately, and he'll be knocked down for about a 2-yard loss. The other starters on offense for the Texas Longhorns, Cedric Benson and Will Matthews in the backfield. David Thomas, the tight end, and B.J. Johnson and Roy Williams are the wide receivers. Up front with the offensive line, Jonathan Scott and Justin Blaylock at the tackles. Tillman Holloway, he's the leader, the only senior at left guard. Glenn and Allen round out that offensive front. From the shotgun, hands it off to Benson, goes to the left side, going to take it out of the 25 to around the 27-yard line as we take a look at the defensive starters for Washington State. This is a very active and good down four. It is Brown, Williams, Tupai, and Achalanu. The linebackers, and they'll blitz on virtually every play. Genatone, Durding, and Jackson. And in the secondary, they're very good. They're led back there by the defensive quarterback, Eric Coleman, who's one of the captains of this football team. It is third down, and they need to take it out to the 34-yard line to pick up the first down. Again from the shotgun, and here comes a blitz. Young rolls the pocket, gets it away, and Williams dropped it. Had the first down at the 35-yard line. The ball was a little behind him, but he should have caught that.
The big question everybody asked, is Texas going to play? Because they've been here 3 out of the last 4 years. They didn't get to go to the Fiesta Bowl against Ohio State. So Roy Williams not a good move right there.
No, Richmond McGee stands back to punt. Sophomore out of Garland. First time he has kicked. And Sammy Moore, number 3, wide receiver and also the return man for Washington State. We've got flags all over the place.
Team Washington State. Has come out here with an attitude in the first 3 plays now.
An attitude and a blitz on 3 straight plays.
Their defense is running around and congratulating each other, and they're in it here for a fight.
Well, Rob Akey is the defensive coordinator, and he is somewhat of a wild man sometimes on the sideline for the Cougars, but he gets their attention and he keeps them revved up. So 5 yards stepped off against Texas, and it's 4th down. Coming right up the middle, and the kick is off the side of his foot.
May have blocked it.
May have gotten a piece of it as Moore runs away from it, and it winds up being touched dead at the 42-yard line. 36 yards on the kick, and I believe Eric Coleman, who had a block, against Arizona State 2 games ago, is the man who came through in the middle.
So slow getting this kick off. Couldn't tell if it was touched or not. Yep. Gary Coleman.
Yeah, got just a little bit of it. And as I said, he had a block 2 games ago against Arizona State in a big win for Washington State. So let's see what the offense comes on the field with, if they can get things going. Matt Kegel, the starting quarterback, the senior, out of the state of Montana. Full wide receiver set, and they go with the running play. And Jonathan Smith bounces it outside. Has 5, has 10, counted off at about 14 yards. And on first down, a running play. And Jonathan Smith, the senior, out of Pasadena, California, rambles for the first down. Smith and Moore, or Smith and Veneman, are in the backfield. Darling, Lunday, who was a slot back, and Sammy Moore, the wide receivers. And up front with the offensive line, Armstrong, Parrish, Shelford, Millhauser, and Lightbody. And Lightbody is not that at all. He is 6'9", 315, the right tackle. Texas comes up the plate, bump out on the corner. Pass is thrown, got it complete. That's Darling. And he steps out of bounds short of the first down, but he's down to the 37 as we take a look at the Texas defense following a gain of 7. So it's Thornton, Tubbs, Wright, and Crowder up front for the Longhorns. The linebackers, just keep an eye on number 11, Derek Johnson. They give him a lot of free reign as far as freelancing, and he is an All-American out of Waco, Texas. And in the secondary, Griffin and Vasher. Vasher, the leader in the secondary. Giger and Michael Huff are the safeties. A good look at Johnson. Outstanding speed. And he has a lot of relatives who have played well. That ball tipped at the line of scrimmage and could have been picked off by Kalen Thornton as he got his hand up. If you'd put both hands up, Michael, he might still be running.
Yeah, Kalen Thornton knocked that ball away. Matt Kegel, I don't think he saw him on that pass play. But Washington State starting with a high-tempo offense. Spreading Texas out.
And, Mike, the way they played their offense, Kegel, you don't get much of a shot at him because it's either shotgun or short drop and quick throw. That's Lundy in motion. Puts it in the stomach of his running back, and nothing doing this time. Jonathan Smith being hit behind the line of scrimmage. Derek Johnson, the first man to get there, the young man we were just talking about out of Waco, and he'll knock him down for about a 2-yard loss, and it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, blitz. They brought a blitz. Derek Johnson was not picked up and was in on the tackle.
Bausler comes in to punt for Washington State, standing back at his own 47-yard line. And Nathan Vasher, number 3, is the deep man for Texas. Low pass, and the Horns have the return on. Vasher runs away from it. It takes a Washington State bounce and is going to be touched dead at around the 2-yard line. And now please turn your attention to a special holiday greeting from Pacific Life, founded in 1868, about the same year the sport of football was born. Here's Tom Sutton, chairman and CEO of Pacific Life.
We're delighted to present the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl to you this evening. Pacific Life and college football are linked in many important ways. We're a proud sponsor of college football, and the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl is a crowning culmination of the season, matching the Texas Longhorns, ranked number 2 in the Big 12, against the Washington State Cougars, ranked number 2 in the Pac-10. This will be a whale of a game. We welcome both of these fine teams and their fans to beautiful San Diego for the 26th Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. This game is always among the most exciting and dramatic bowls, and Pacific Life is proud to bring it to you. When we support college football, we are supporting the qualities we admire: persistence, performance, and strength. Those same qualities that have driven Pacific Life for over 135 years. Enjoy the game, and from all of us at Pacific Life, we wish you a season of celebration and peace.
Welcome back to the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. Washington State nothing, Texas nothing, both with an offensive series. And what happened just a moment ago, Vasher had to run away from the ball. He was inside the 10, and it took a monster Washington State bounce. And as a result, the Longhorns scrimmage from their own 4-yard line. Here comes the blitz right up the middle. Cedric Benson will take it out across the 5-yard line and close to the 7.
One thing you have to tell your offense when you play a blitzing style of defense like Washington State is they're going to make some plays. But you have the opportunity to make big plays against them. You break past the backers.
David Thomas checks into the lineup. Davis had a 60-yard touchdown in the Texas A&M game on the 3rd play from scrimmage where they got him into the middle of the secondary, confused the safeties, and took it the distance. Washington State again shows blitz. And for the most part, they stay at home. As the pass is thrown complete to the young man we were just talking about, and he fights for the first down. Durding will make the tackle on David Thomas as they rolled him out in the flat. And let's see, with the spot he got, he is not going to have the first down.
Good tackle by Durding, a linebacker that's very active. No one recruited him, didn't have a phone in his house. Nobody could get a hold of him. Makes that move inside, then gets back out on the tight end. The wide receiver makes that tackle, keeps him from the first down.
Bo Scaife checks into the lineup at tight end. Texas goes with the power I formation to the right. It's Thomas in motion. Some movement at the line of scrimmage, straight ahead, and I don't know if he got the first down or not. And no marker came down, so the officials did not think Washington State came across the line of scrimmage as Coleman and Durding combined to make the tackle.
Yeah, Eric Coleman right up the field as a safety. They picked up the first down. There's the movement inside.
Achelanu is the man who moved.
Ron, the way you hurt a blitzing team is a quarterback that can run the football. And just a matter of time till Vincent Young gets that opportunity.
One of the things that the Texas coaches on offense thought that could give Washington State a bit of a problem is they don't see a quarterback-oriented offense in the Pac-10 as you do in the Big 12 and also in the SEC. Quarterback draws, design plays for the quarterback. Young sets into pocket. Here comes pressure. Gets by one man, now delivers the pass and overthrows it. Rushing Achelanu is the man who put the pressure on him but could not make the stop. And there's an example of why Vince Young is so difficult, because it's 6'5", 225, and having the kind of mobility he does, you can't knock him off his feet with just an arm tackle, as proved right there. A lot of escapability in those feet. Sloan Thomas comes into the lineup, number 1, a senior out of Klein. Sloan, along with B.J. Johnson and Roy Williams, make up one of the best threesomes in college football, if not the best. 6'2", 200 pounds, and he's a flyer. Blitz comes off the corner, and here comes that quarterback blitz. Going to cut it to the sideline, and he's loose. Finally pushed out of bounds at the 32-yard line. And Mike, here's what I need to get you to explain to the audience again after that gain of 19. Because they put their corners on an island, they're running with their backs to the line of scrimmage, and it really opens up the play even more.
Yeah, once you break by the linebacker here and you see Vincent Young get up the football field, that's why when you blitz a quarterback that can run, here's a good block right here.
Scaife. Yep.
But when you face a quarterback that can run, he can hurt you in so many ways because of the DBs and the linebackers running with their back to the ball.
Does that make them stop blitzing or change their blitzing?
No, they're going to keep blitzing.
Yep, here they come. Pressure coming on the right side. You see them line up, and here they go. Backside pressure, gets the pass away, got it complete to Thomas, the tight end. It'll go for short gain. Eric Coleman, the safety we were talking about, the defensive captain, number 27, is the man who came with the pressure.
Yeah, they brought the blitz up top of the screen to the field, and Vince Young rolled to the short side of the field. Very fortunate for Texas that they had him rolling in that direction.
Mike, let me ask you this. I think patience becomes an extremely important part for Texas, because if you get impatient against this defense, you'll turn the football over.
Yeah, you don't want to turn it over, but you got some wide receivers out there that can make some big plays with those corners on islands.
For the most part, they stay at home. They did come off the corner. Young will keep it. He'll be knocked down for about a half-yard loss, and it'll be 3rd down with the line to make. They need to take it out to the 44-yard line.
Right now, the tempo is perfect for Washington State right now. They have done what they wanted to do in the first quarter of this football game. They blitzed. They've confused Texas's offensive line a little bit.
Rob Akey, the defensive coordinator, he's the man I was talking about, who is a bit of a wild man on the sideline. His head coach said, I looked up at one time and he had jumped so high his feet were at my shoulders. But he says he gets the job done beautifully. 8th play of the drive coming up. It's Roy Williams in motion to the top of your screen. Again, the blitz. And he's going to be sacked. First time tonight Washington State will get to him, knocking him down back at the 21-yard line.
Played like a redshirt freshman right there. Didn't see the blitz. Donald Jackson coming in there also. Doesn't throw the ball away. Just made a mistake and held on to the football.
That was the mistake, because the offensive line actually did a good job. They just didn't have enough bodies. Not as many as Washington State had up there. So it's a loss of 11. And McGee, who had the ball partially blocked last time out, gets this one away quicker, and it is a dynamite kick. Very high. The spiral will turn over at the 26. Sammy Moore on the return, but he'll be stopped at the 33-yard line. So 48 yards on the kick and 7 on the return. And let's take a timeout. 8:14 remaining, opening quarter. Still no score. Well, Cabrillo National Monument, it was established in 1913, the highest point of the park, and it stands at the Old Point Loma Lighthouse. This is one absolutely beautiful city with more historical monuments like that than you can see in a week's time. Some of the Longhorn faithful who had come out here to the left coast. It is first down, Washington State, and again, good field position as they scrimmage from their own 34. Jonathan Smith, right side, finds an opening. He's going to have about 5 yards in the play. He'll take it just short of the 40 before Reed Boyd, a senior out of New Braunfels, Texas, comes over to make the tackle. Young on the sideline and talking it over with some of his offensive friends over there. It's B.J. Johnson sitting right next to him. What is he going to have to do, Mike, to get this thing going?
Well, he's got to throw the ball away. I think they've got to throw the quick game because the corners are so far off the wide receivers.
Well, there's a man left unattended at the top of your screen, and that's Sammy Moore. And Texas then got the defensive back over there. Pass over the middle to Lundy, and he's going to have the first down as he takes it to the 49-yard line. That's good for 9. And I can tell you, these wide receivers, Moore and Darling, are very good. But Lundy, I think, is his favorite receiver. They are always on the same page.
Matt Keagle off to a good start as a quarterback. They said when he threw the ball all week in practice, he'd throw the ball and he'd grab his shoulder and he was in pain, but he has really played well here early.
And the big point as far as his health is Texas has not come close to him yet. 2 of 3, 16 yards. Here comes pressure. That pass caught coming back into the middle. Tackle is broken by Jonathan Smith. And now, again, playing with formation as Smith, the tailback, and they had him slotted way out to the right side.
Well, Jonathan Smith, not only a good running back, but catches the ball well on the screen. Texas had a chance there, missed the tackle. Michael Griffin missed the tackle, and all of a sudden, Jonathan Smith's down the football field.
So Washington State moves the change again as they scrimmage from the Texas 40-yard line. No score, just under 7 minutes to play, opening quarter. This time from the shotgun. Keagle. Good protection, going to go long, and it's intercepted at the 5-yard line. Philip Giger.
He played that great. His safety came over the top, and Matt Keagle never saw the safety. He sees the corner being beat. He releases him inside, but Giger comes from the backside, makes the interception.
He's shared, by the way, the most improved defensive player award and has the reputation as a real hitter. But that play right there on a drive that was beginning to look promising for Washington State is shut down with the turnover.
Washington State with good field position, not being able to take advantage of it. Wide receivers really have a cushion here for Texas. They got to throw the quick game. Look at this corner out here.
Chance Mock in the ball game at quarterback. Cedric Benson will go straight ahead, and that's a gain of about 4.5 yards. Steve Cook, who rotates with Williams at left defensive tackle, comes in. This is not a surprise because the coaches had said that they were going to work him into the rotation.
It's a good move because you settled the redshirt freshman down. You got Chance Mock, who's thrown 15 touchdown passes, only 2 interceptions. And you get Vincent Young off the sideline, he sees what's going on.
Sloan Thomas and Roy Williams come to the bottom of your screen as they are set to the right side. B.J. Johnson at the top of your screen.
Big cushion again.
Washington State, yep, they're going to stay at home. Delivers the pass and underthrown at the 27-yard line. B.J. Johnson, who we were just talking about, is the man who the pass was intended for. B.J., player of the year in Houston, Texas, when he was in high school. Had to miss a couple of days of workout. He lost his grandmother just a couple of weeks ago. So it is 3rd down. And for the Longhorns to hold on to the football, they've got to take it out to the 16-yard line. Mack Brown knows they got to move the chains and get some decent field position here for whomever is in the ball game at quarterback. Washington State showing blitz. And here they come. Mock sets deep in the pocket. Here comes the pressure. He almost waited too late to get that thing away. Finally does. It was Will Durding who was all over it. And Virgil Williams also applying pressure.
Yeah, Durding, a great blitzer. Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Week in the Notre Dame game. Chance Mock scrambles to the right side. Durding with good speed.
And here they come. Mock sets deep in the pocket. Here comes the pressure. Well, you can see him running for his life. And what I meant was the angle that he had. He had to get it across the line of scrimmage since he was outside the 5-yard barrier. McGee waits for the snap. Tries to get this one off a little quicker, and it is a quick spinner. It will turn over and hit immediately as Moore. That is really good coverage by Texas. A 43-yard punt and nothing on the return. So we'll take a break as Michael Griffin on the special teams comes up with the big one. Still no score. Live pictures of tonight's game being brought to you by Sanyo Lightship, one of the largest airships in the world. It holds over 150,000 cubic feet of helium. We had our doubts yesterday whether we would be able to use our friends there, but the weather went south of us, and that's the reason that you're getting those beautiful aerial shots tonight. Average field position, Washington State has had great opportunities. Texas has had their back to their own goal line all night. This time Washington State goes from their own 48. Here comes a blitz off the corner. Quick pass, got it complete to Lundy, and Lundy is going to take it inside the 35. Keeger will make the tackle, but I told you, Keegle really likes to team up with Lundy, and that has been the serious combination so far. A gain of 21.
Yeah, Keegle just throwing quick, beats the linebacker and the safety on the throw, and Lundy gets up the field. Great field position for Washington State. Must take advantage of it right here.
Tim Crowder comes out of the ball game at defensive end, and Texas brings in an extra defensive back. Terrell Brown, number 5. Running play straight ahead. Jonathan Smith, not much there. Kalen Thornton, who's not 100%, but a senior out of Dallas, is the man who comes up to make the tackle.
Kalen Thornton's going to close right here, number 43. He's not worried about Keegle running the football, so he can close it. On the other side, if you're a defensive against Vincent Young, you've got to be cautious that Vincent Young's not going to pull that ball out and run it. But Keegle's not much of a runner.
To this side of the field, DeVar Darling, number 1, and Scott Lundy, number 35. And now it's Lundy in motion. Back to the other side. Play action, going to be hit and knocked down, and the pass is misthrown, and that is Mike Williams, who has done a really outstanding job for the Texas Longhorns. Only a sophomore out of Lindale. And the note I have written down from the coaches is great pressure guy, and he will play a lot tonight.
Yeah, Carl Reese, the defensive coordinator, plays a lot of man free, which means all the corners are playing man, the strong safety man, the linebackers, but to free safety, Giger is sitting back in center field, but he's pressuring from the outside.
Carl Reese just to the left. There we go. Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator. That's the first time that the Longhorns have hit quarterback Matt Kegel tonight. Here they come with a blitz again. Running play. Jonathan Smith. Nope. Kept it. Throws the pass in the flat. And Trandon Harvey is the man who made the reception. And a really good fake into the line of scrimmage. Got us as well. And Michael Griffin will make the tackle for Texas.
Now, Michael Griffin, again, man coverage right on top of the wide receiver. Made a good tackle and sets up the field goal.
Drew Dunning, the career scoring leader at Washington State, 27 of 30 this year in field goal attempts. And this is going to be an attempt of 46 yards from the far hash mark. Low pass, gets it away. He's got plenty of distance. And it's going to be wide left. So the most accurate kicker in the country comes up dry on his first attempt. Still no score. We'll take a break. 3:38 left, opening quarter. Welcome back to the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. You're looking at the trolley system. It runs all throughout the city of San Diego. In fact, a lot of this crew will be on the trolley system heading back to downtown after this game is over. We could wind up in Tijuana, not intentionally, but anyway, we do have guides with us. Vince Young back in the game at quarterback. Chance Mock on the last series. This is the fourth offensive set for Texas at their best starting field position of the night. Cedric Benson, nothing to the left side, takes it into the middle. And Adrian Karsten, let's check with you down on the sideline.
Overheard the instructions to Vince Young during that last series when the replacement quarterback was in. And basically it's this run because of the Washington State blitz. Vince, if you see something, you got to go with it. You're not going to have the time to go through a second or third possibility. Secondly, to Cedric Benson, they feel they need more yards after the first contact when he hits his hole.
Interesting story that Cedric Benson talked with his head coach out in Midland Lee during the middle of the season and said, why am I not as effective as I was when I first came here? And he said, you're not running as hard, just like he did right there. He said, make your moves after you've taken it straight ahead past the offensive line. And that's exactly what Benson did on a 14-yard game.
I don't know about that, but I'll tell you one thing. He can run 218 pounds. Rushed for 283 yards, 4 touchdowns against Texas A&M, but he's in the secondary. Eric Coleman makes the play, and the free safety very active for Washington State.
The leader of that offensive line for Texas, number 61, Tillman Holloway, the only senior up there. He's out of Basalt, Colorado. Is the man who had a paving block. Benson now 6 carries, 30 yards. There he goes to the left side, breaks it to the outside. Gain of 10. Counted off at about 13, now 14 yards. Jason David finally made the stop. And now the Longhorns, after starting off with better field position, utilizing the run.
This is Eric Coleman, the free safety. When he's in center field, that's his zone coverage. Vincent Young's going to watch him every play. Now, Eric Coleman doesn't make the play on that play. But when he shades a receiver, he goes one side. Vincent Young knows the blitz is coming. He's in center field. He knows it's zone, no blitz.
Jonathan Scott and Tillman Holloway with good blocks on that play. They give it to him again. Bounces it back to the left and is tackled. That's a nice job with the grab around the ankle. Genatone, one of the senior captains, saw him and met him at the luncheon yesterday as Adrian interviewed the Washington State captains. He is still not 100%. He's been playing with an ankle injury, but is an extremely intense young man out of Kennewick, Washington.
Very good linebacker. Cedric Benson getting hot right now. Look for Vincent Young to fake to Cedric Benson and keep this football.
Second down at about 8. The line to make the 31. See Washington State creeping up. And here they come with the blitz. And a quick pass knocked down at the line of scrimmage, Eric Coleman. 7 interceptions for him and 5 in the last 6 games. And as we mentioned, he had a block punt 2 games ago. He just does a little bit of everything.
He's all over the place, but that's what Vincent Young's got to find him. He's the key to the defense. He tells you everything that's going to happen.
Brett Robin, number 25, checks into the lineup for the Texas Longhorns. He sets up to the right of Vince Young, the quarterback. 3rd down. They need to take it to the Cougar 31. They stay at home this time, and a quick pass into the middle of the field. And Roy Williams trying to search for some running room, and Eric Coleman will finally put a stopper on him. And Mike, what do? You go field goal, do you punt it?
That's a good question, Ron.
This is really tweener right here, isn't it? It would be close to a 50-yard field goal, but
I think you go for the 1st down here.
Pino's longest, 58 yards in high school. And they're going to bring him on. And I'll tell you what else he does from this formation. They snap it directly to Pino, and he will pooch kick the ball.
Really came on the field late, too.
Tony Jeffrey, one of the wide receivers, is the holder. This is a 49-yard attempt. Texas trying to get on the scoreboard first. And they're going to go with the fake, and there's Jeffrey. I said he was a wide receiver, and he'll carry it for the 1st down to the 30-yard line.
Great call by Mack Brown. I really felt they would go for the 1st down right there because their defense has control of Washington State's offense, but I didn't think they'd do it on a fake field goal. But a good move by Mack Brown and Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator. Because when you give the field position that Texas has given Washington State, and they still don't have any points on the board, you know you're controlling them.
Good look at Rob Akey, the defensive coordinator. 9th play of the drive coming up for the Longhorns. Robin comes to the sideline, and Cedric Benson checks back in, number 32 at tailback. And here they come with the end around, and it's Roy Williams. And Roy's going to be hemmed in. Boy, there was a missed block downfield by one of his wide receivers.
Justin Blaylock.
And
no, it's a guard or tackle.
If he gets that block right there and seals the outside lane, Roy Williams runs it into the end zone. Yep.
Yeah, Justin Blaylock's going to come around, number 63 right here. And he misses the block. Really doesn't block anybody.
Justin, a redshirt freshman out of Plano East. Gained 11 yards, so it's 1st down.
Sometimes you get those offensive linemen in space and they don't react.
Those DBs are a little quicker than those 330-pounders. Cedric Benson hit at the line of scrimmage and is going to be knocked down by Don Jackson, the middle linebacker. Don Jackson, a senior out of Natchez, Mississippi. And Mike, I think it's going to be the final play of this opening quarter. So let's take a timeout. Washington State nothing and the Longhorns nothing, with Texas threatening. We'll be right back. Welcome back to San Diego in the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. We are done now with the opening quarter, and it is the Cougars nothing and the Longhorns nothing. But Texas with a 2nd down and the ball at the 21-yard line of Washington State.
Wouldn't be surprised if they'll roll Vincent Young out here to the wide side of the field and throw the football. Try to roll him away from that pressure.
Well, they bring pressure from that side middle screen. Roy Williams, and he is hit immediately. Well, it's like they got a spy on him. Any place number 4 goes, they've got someone with him. Tonight's Game Track brought to you by Pacific Life. Texas, bad field position in the opening quarter. Nathan Vasher does a smart thing. He runs away from the football, but look at the bounce it took. He just stopped for the Cougars. And then Young is going to be sacked. That's a loss of 11. And Washington State bringing the pressure. So Brett Robin comes into the lineup in the backfield. It is 3rd down. Texas needs to take it to the 9.5-yard line, and Vince Young wants a timeout. Robin was hollering something to him, and he didn't understand the play.
Well, the clock was running down, and they wouldn't have got to play off. Had to call the timeout. gives them time. This is a big play, 3rd down.
Well, tomorrow, Capital One Bowl Week continues on ESPN at noon. It is the Wisconsin Badgers taking on the Auburn Tigers. Then at 3:30, the Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles against number 25 Utah at the Axel Liberty Bowl. And coverage begins with College Game Day, built by the Home Depot at 11 a.m. It's all a part of Capital One Bowl Week on ESPN at ESPN2.
And we're looking forward to going to the Peach Bowl. Gary Stokan, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Should be a great game. Clemson, Tennessee.
It's a fun week, Mike. We were up into Fort Worth. We come out here to San Diego. Now we go to the Peach Bowl, and 2 days after that, we're in New Orleans to do the national championship between Oklahoma and LSU for ESPN Radio, which has turned into an annual thing and is really a lot of fun for us. By the way, this is the 11th play of the drive for the Texas Longhorns. It all started back at the 29-yard line.
Haven't been able to get the ball to the wide receivers on any kind of throws down the football field.
Selvin Young, number 3, checks in at tailback. Young gonna run. Fakes the pump. Takes it at the 10, at the 6, and finally shoved out of bounds. And that's where he just absolutely destroys any design on the defense. Virgil Williams finally forced him out of bounds. But Mike, once he pumped, those DBs were going to stay where they were.
Yeah, man coverage again. There's nobody back there. After you pass this first line right here, there's nobody there. And Vincent Young, Bill Doba told me the other day in practice, 6'5", he's great in one-on-one and in space, and we're worried about him.
First down, Longhorns. Cedric Benson checks into the lineup at tailback, replacing Selvin Young, and they'll give it to him. Bounces it to the left at the 3, down to the 2, and Virgil Williams makes the stop on him. We talked about patience back in the opening quarter, and Greg Davis and the offensive coaches have been just that. I think realizing that that's what it's going to take against this Washington State defense.
Yeah, they're going to win some plays, and you're going to win some, and you just have to win more than they do, and you've got to get some big plays against the blitz.
12 plays, 69 yards so far on the drive, consuming almost 5 minutes. B.J. Johnson in motion. Cedric Benson goes to the left side. He's at the 1 and maybe the half-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and goal, Texas. Jeremy Williams down at the bottom of the stack along with Don Jackson.
Talking to Mack Brown, he said that Cedric Benson had to get the ball 25 to 28 times in this football game for them to win. He's a better runner late in the game, Ron, because he wears on you. 11 carries right now.
49 yards. Will Allen, a 6'6", 305-pound sophomore, checks into the ball game at guard, number 72. Fakes it to Benson, wants to throw, and now Young's going to try to run it. Gets it away. Did he throw it in time? They say incomplete. David Thomas caught it out of bounds.
A lot of pressure. That didn't fool Washington State's
really
defense.
Well
they played that very well.
That looks like a touchdown. Payma's the guy who had the cover. Achelano was the man coming with the pressure.
This was pro football that Beanbag would be out there.
So it's 4th down.
I'd go for the touchdown right here. And I think, again, what I said earlier, Mack Brown knows his defensive team has planned very well right now. Mack wants to see this referee.
So we'll take a timeout. 12:27 left until halftime. No score. Texas on the lid of the cup. Welcome back to the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. What Mack Brown was upset about. They had spotted the ball incorrectly. They had spotted it at the 2. It should have been at the 1. As a result, Texas was not charged with a timeout. When the officials say, hey, it was our mistake. 4th down. 15th play of the drive, and the ball just about 36 inches away. Young, touchdown Texas. Jason Glenn, the offensive center, one of the men leading the way. So the Longhorns playing long ball as they don't go with the big play. They go with a more conservative measure. 15 plays on the drive and eat up a lot of time on the clock. Over 6 minutes on that drive. Covering 71 yards. David Pino to attempt the extra point. Good pass, and he knocks it home. So the 21st rushing touchdown for Cedric Benson this year comes on this play right here. Will Matthews, number 37, with an outstanding block as well. So we'll go away for a moment. Texas goes on the scoreboard first. Longhorns 7-0. Well, anybody who has ever been to San Diego, California, you certainly recognize the Hotel Coronado, situated along 31 oceanfront acres. It's a national historic landmark. It was built in 1888, an example of Victorian architecture. One of the great landmarks here in San Diego, California. Richmond McGee will kick it off for the Longhorns. Moore and Jonathan Smith, the 2 deep men for Washington State. Here's the boot. 3 yards deep, and Sammy Moore will not return it. So this is about as bad a field position at the 20 as Washington State would have had. Well, tomorrow night, Capital One Bowl Week continues on ESPN2 at 7:30. Matt Jones and the Arkansas Razorbacks take on the Missouri Tigers in the Mainstay Independence Bowl. Then at 10:30, Bradley Van Pelt and the Colorado State Rams take on Derek Knight and the Boston College Golden Eagles in the Diamond Walnut San Francisco Bowl. Capital One Bowl Week on ESPN and ESPN2.
Colorado State, Bradley Van Pelt, one of my favorite college players this year. Plays the game the way it should be played.
Kiss Broom, number 33, checks into the lineup, a junior out of Woodland, California. It's Lundy in motion. And they go with Broom straight up the middle. Going to go for 3 tough yards as Wright, number 90, a sophomore out of Alief Hastings, just outside of Houston, makes the stop.
Yeah, talking to Washington State coaches, they felt like Roderick Wright and Marcus Tubbs, the 2 big inside tackles, they'd have trouble with them. I mean, they got some size and got some push to them.
Mike Levenseller, the offensive coordinator, we visited with Mike on Sunday afternoon, and he talked. He said, we have got to take our shots because we think there are times we can catch them in man coverage and do some damage. Texas showing blitz at the line of scrimmage, and now Matt Kegel says, I don't like what I've got here, and so he'll call a timeout. You know, the Senyo Lightship flying overhead with its eye in the sky camera to bring you these beautiful shots from 1,000 feet above the stadium today. Ron Franklin, Mike Godfrey, Adrian Karsten coming to you from San Diego, California. First time that this crew has had an opportunity to work the Holiday Bowl, the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. And Mike, this has always been one of the highest scoring and closest ball games played during the bowl season. I mentioned the fact that Lavelle Edwards brought his team from BYU out here 11 different times, and they were in some Donnybrooks out here, and it seems as though every year this game would come down to a final play or a final 2 or 3 minutes, and 35-34, something like that would be the final score.
Well, it's starting slow for that right now, but defenses have kind of had their way here in the the first half, but I think Texas found some things in the running game, running at smaller defensive ends of Washington State. And I still feel like Keagle's got to get the ball to Darling. Number one, he's being guarded by Vasher.
He tried one time,
defensive back.
got it picked off. Here comes Texas showing a safety blitz. Huff came off of that quick out pass and hit immediately Jonathan Smith. As soon as he caught the ball, is being knocked down by Michael Griffin, who's the nickelback, a freshman at Bowie High School in Austin.
Well, what they showed is what you thought was going to happen. They tried to show a blitz, and they got Matt Keagle to dump that football off, and they paid for it. They bought into the blitz type of look that Texas showed, but Texas bailed out.
4 wide receiver set, third down. Cougars need to take it to the 30-yard line to keep the drive going. From the shotgun, pressure right up the middle. He is hit, and the ball is caught by Darling. What an effort by DeVar Darling, as Wright was all over the quarterback. Keagle got it away for an 11-yard gain.
Yeah, Nathan Vasher was in good coverage, but just a great catch by Darling. Number one, first of all, Roderick Wright is not blocked. Keagle did a great job of getting this football off. And then Vasher in pretty good position, but what DeVar Darling used his body like basketball players do, and just kind of kept him away from the football.
From the shotgun formation. First down from the 35. There's Jonathan Smith with a big run. Has 5 yards. Takes it out to a gain of 9. And Roderick Wright again is there to make the tackle for the Longhorns. And that's 4 stops for him we have unofficially.
Jonathan Smith, not great speed as a running back, but gets his job done. Scored 9 touchdowns this year. Deceptive speed.
You know, Mike, he was the offensive MVP voted on by the Washington State team. Very tough guy. And he is a great receiver. And Mike Levenseller said that's one of the reasons we use him so very much. Smith 5 carries for 28 yards. Bruin comes back at a tailback, number 33. They pitch it back to him, cuts it up, missed tackle, going to be stopped at the 50, but it's Kalen Thornton who will put the stop on him, but not before Washington State moves the chains. And Cedric Griffin is the man who went by him and did not make the tackle, allowing him to turn the corner.
We had big lineman Sam Lightbody, number 75, pulling outside, so he tried to get him to pull up and run it inside of him.
Lightbody, as we mentioned off the top, absolutely huge at 6'9", 319, and he's a discus thrower for the track team at Washington State. Draw play. Bruin takes it back up into the middle, close to the first down, running very hard before Wright and Kalen Thornton combine in the tackle for Texas.
Chris Bruin did a nice job right here. There was nothing to the left side. He's going to start to the left side. Now he stops and hits the open spot on the Texas defense.
Well, you can see Kalen Thornton might coming in, whacking hard at that football, trying to knock it out of the arms of Chris Boone. But Boone had a good grasp on it. From the Longhorn 42, Texas leads 7-0, and now the Cougars with a drive. He's going to have the first down. Right guard Derek Johnson. First time we've called his name in a time. Chris Boone is there to make the tackle. I'll tell you, as this game has gone on, and we're still early with 8:38 to play in the second, Mike, there are a lot of conversations going on between this offensive line and the defensive front of Texas.
A lot of talk going on the field, but I'm seeing that a lot in bowl games this year, especially in that Nebraska game last night. Michigan State.
Bruin 18 yards on his last 3 rushes. Texas shows blitz, and they stay at home. Zings the pass, and it's overthrown as he rushed it, intended for Lundy.
Now Cedric Griffin in coverage in pretty good shape. Keagle's lucky he didn't get that ball picked off.
You're right. Derek Johnson, one of the men in coverage, along with Griffin. And they were in good position. Cedric Griffin, a sophomore out of San Antonio. They were in good position had it been thrown a little bit higher. 4 wide receivers again for the Cougars. They go with the running play. Broome tripped up at the line of scrimmage, and it's Derek Johnson who got a hand on him. Derek was being blocked, but we had him for 5 tackles in this first half of play at the 8-10 mark.
Yeah, outstanding linebacker. Says he wants to win the Butkus Trophy. That means he's got to come back next year. Pretty good active linebacker.
He has got tremendous speed. You remember Bert Emanuel, who used to play quarterback at Rice and went on to play in the pros for about 9 or 10 years down at Tampa. That is a cousin of his. Pressure from the outside. Ball is thrown too high and incomplete. Harvey, the intended receiver, and now we're beginning to see Keagle throw the ball a little errantly. He's rushing.
Yeah, he had this play, and that's what you don't like as a quarterback. You know you're going to get certain plays, and he has the blitz. He gets the ball off. He's just too high on this throw to Trandon Harvey. He knows he made a mistake.
Bosler back to punt. This is only the second punt by Washington State. Basher is back. He's not dropped off very far. High kick. Going to run away from it. Hits it to 5, and this thing is going to go dead just like the last one. Veneman, the tight end, is right there to down it inside the 5-yard line. So Bosler does his job, and the Longhorns will take over deep in their own territory. Well, welcome back to the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. That's Old Town, the birthplace of California, where Father Junipero Serra came more than 225 years ago.
I read about him into Catholic school.
Eager on the sideline, the defensive back for the Texas Longhorns, who has an interception in this ball game, stopping a Washington State drive. So the second time tonight that they have nailed a punt inside the 4-yard line. Cedric Benson behind the block, now cuts it upfield out of the 10, and he's going to have a gain of about 8 yards.
Starting to run at the defensive ends of Washington State. The last drive, Cedric Benson here breaks outside with a good gain. Then he gets the touchdown just off the right side. Getting a little bit more carries, starting to run a little bit harder.
You know, that time Eric Coleman, who is a really outstanding football player, that's the second time tonight that his pursuit angle has not been good, and he has missed a tackle when he was in position. Blitz coming off the corner. Young going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage and stopped at the 11 by Virgil Williams.
See, that's the young freshman quarterback. Sometimes he'll run into a blitz, and he did on this play, and you run into the outside blitz and really should have gone the other way. And there's just nothing there for Texas on that play. But when you have a redshirt freshman quarterback, young guy, he's going to make some mistakes.
Pacific Life Holiday Bowl at the half. Lowest scoring first half, 12 points. That was in 1978, and that was the first Holiday Bowl. We're standing at 7-0 right now. Here comes the all-out blitz. Young gets away from harm's way, and they're in trouble. He's in the secondary, and this is where you can't design something to stop this fella. He is an absolute great athlete, and 13 yards on that carry.
Yeah, Eric Coleman came on the blitz, and when you have a quarterback with these kind of wheels, Eric Coleman can't get a hold of him, and all of a sudden he makes it look easy as he gets in the secondary. That's when you, as the offensive coordinator, say, that was a great call.
Young 3 rushes of 10 yards or better in the first half. Cougars coming with the blitz again. Going to put it on top. Looking for Roy Williams, and just a little bit off the mark. And I don't have to tell you, if he gets it complete to him, it's 6. And on this side of the field, B.J. Johnson was just as open as Williams was.
Yeah, you're going to take some shots against this man coverage, but Vincent Young may have thrown the ball a little too early. didn't put enough air under the ball. Roy Williams, a complete football player. He does it all. Mack Brown said he called him in and said, we're going to run the ball a little bit more. In the middle of the season, Roy Williams says, whatever it takes. I'm a team guy. Whatever's best for this team, I want to do.
Good look at Roy. Came back for his senior season, and many people said he could have been a first-round draft choice. Cedric Benson running hard, breaks by one tackle. It's going to take it out close to the 30-yard line. And now it'll be third down as Virgil Williams comes over to make another stop. One more point on Williams. Yesterday, as I said, Adrian interviewed the Washington State players. I interviewed the Texas captains, and I asked Roy Williams if he thought he made a mistake, if he had any regrets for coming back his senior year, and he said not at all. He said, I came back because I really enjoy that campus, the city, and college football. So he feels great about what he did in passing up the pros.
You know, the pros are waiting for him because when you get a team guy and a high character guy, they win for you.
Long count, blitz again. They pick it up and the quick pass, and Williams, did he hold on? Yes. Nope, they're going to say he did not. He caught it out of bounds. Jason David was out there with the cover.
Boy, a lot of pressure on Vincent Young. Washington State just continues to come after him. He had a little more time there. He rushed his throw.
Williams doing everything in his power to bring it in, but he couldn't. Richmond McGee stands back to punt. That one partially blocked early on in the first quarter. He really kind of took his time on that one. Pressure coming up the middle. And this is a beautiful spiral. Going to turn over. Moore will gather it in at the 26. And he's got some running room as he will be hit and stopped just shy of the 34-yard line. So it's 44 yards in the kick and 7 on the return. And Aaron Ross is downfield on the special team. Welcome back to the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. Some of the sights and sounds that we have had early on in this ball game. And by the way, the pregame show, which we really have no way of showing you, an American flag that covered this entire football field. Young men and women from both the Marines and the U.S. Navy participating, and it was quite a sight. Then the flyover. Pass over the middle, in and out of the hands of Harvey. You know, this is a couple of times now where the receivers of Washington State have been a little shaky. They're balls that should have been caught.
Yeah, Ron, I want to go back to what you said about the flag, and it was a great pregame, and we wish all our servicemen and women happy New Year and happy holiday season. Praying for all of them.
I'll tell you what, the feeling that you already have for America is great, but when seeing that pregame show tonight, I'll tell you what, it was extremely impressive. Eagle has missed his last 3 pass attempts as they keep it on the ground. And now Washington State's going to be confronted with a third down and in the vicinity of 6.5 to 7 yards as Michael Griffin came up and made a stop on Smith.
Yeah, Washington State has not been shut out in the first half this season. And Matt Kegel has thrown 19 touchdown passes, but he's thrown 13 interceptions.
Mike Levenseller, the offensive coordinator, on the sideline. He said, we look for them to load the box. And as I mentioned, he said, we got to take our shots. Right over the middle, got this one to Darling. He will have the first down. Vasher is just all over him. And in fact, Nathan couldn't cover him any closer without drawing a flag. He makes the tackle, but it's a gain of 8 and a first down for Washington State.
Yeah, they put Nathan Vasher on DeVar Darling, but all of a sudden now Washington State, seeing that, is going to motion Darling a little bit to get him a free release off the line of scrimmage.
Lundy in motion, but they go with the running play right up the middle. Jonathan Smith, big opening. He's going to have the first down. 5 and 10, and he'll take it down to the 44. Kalen Thornton finally made the tackle. And Jonathan Smith, a little deceptive with his quickness, Mike.
Just gets a good job blocking by the offensive line. 7 carries for Jonathan Smith.
Shelford, Millhauser, good job of blocking up front, as Mike said. So they move the chains, and it's first down. Here comes Texas with a blitz. They roll the pocket. Kegel under pressure, and he's going to be hit and tackled after a gain of 1 by Wright, and also Tim Crowder is the man that was applying pressure. Crowder is a freshman out of Tyler, John Tyler, and from the first scrimmage that Texas had this year, the coaches said, we knew this guy was going to play as a first-year person.
Yeah, Matt Kegel trying to run for some yardage, but Texas defense too fast. Bill Doba talked about his 5th-year quarterback, Matt Kegel. He said he's stayed behind Jason Gesser for 4 years, never complained. Loves the guy.
Second down and long, and now
ball start, the offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
I tell you, I'll give Washington State credit. They are the most penalized team in America, and that's their first penalty of the first half. Bill Doba's team has done a good job of correcting that in the first half of this Holiday Bowl in San Diego.
Bill Doba coached with Lee Corso at Indiana. Said he learned a lot out of Lee, and gives high marks to Lee Corso.
You know, Doba is from the state of Indiana.
South Bend, I believe.
Pressure, ball is thrown, and he gets it complete. Jonathan Smith got him out in space, and here's where he's dangerous. 25 at the 20, and is going to be knocked out at the 16-yard line.
Well, they caught Texas there in a blitz and threw the flare pass to Jonathan Smith.
Calvin Armstrong, number 67, with a really nice block. There's the block right there to knock his man out of the way. Got by Giger, and then finally Giger will come back to make the stop for Texas, but not before a gain of 33 yards, and the Cougars knocking on the door, trying to tie this ball game up at 7 as we go under 2 minutes to play until the halftime. Chris Brune, number 33, comes back in at tailback. Texas shows blitz again, and they bring it with Boyd. The running play, not much with Brune, as a submarine tackle by Cedric Griffin will make the stop on him at around the 12-yard line.
Corners for Texas, Cedric Griffin and Nathan Vasher are good tacklers. Griffin down.
Griffin looks as though he's shaken up in the play. That is a very young secondary, because both Griffin and Michael Hupp, the strong safety, are sophomores. Vasher, of course, is a senior captain, and Giger is only a junior. Philip Giger comes out of Evangel Christian in Shreveport, a school that we've heard a lot about this year. Might have gotten a stinger on that shoulder a little bit. That was a hard hit, but now he's coming off the field under his own power, and he's swinging both arms, so it would appear that he was stung for a moment, but now he's okay.
Terrell Brown coming in, number 5, back up to Cedric Griffin.
Clock is whistled back in. Washington State with the ball at the 12-yard line and a second down. But the game clock is at 1:10 and counting. 8th play of the drive for the Cougars. Kegel sets to throw. Across the middle, he's got him. Touchdown, Sammy Moore.
Just a hit in the post to Sammy Moore. 21 receptions coming into this football game.
Dunning with the extra point attempt. Good pass, and he knocks it home. And we are tied with 59 seconds showing on the clock until halftime. As Sammy Moore with a 12-yard touchdown reception. He's out of Mesa, Arizona. First catch tonight by Moore. Well, welcome back to the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. Mike Tech is on the all-22 here.
Post, and they clear out right here and get this defender out of the way. And man coverage, Sammy Moore going to run that post. Matt Kegel delivers the football, touchdown. Good job by the offensive line of blocking. just before the snap of the ball, Texas moved their defense, but the offensive line of Washington State picked up the movement.
And it was Terrell Brown who had just come into the lineup as the man that they picked on. And Moore, with his first reception of the night, gets the touchdown. Sedaris to kick it off for Washington State. Selvin Young and Brown, the two deep men for the Longhorns. Got 59 seconds left to work with here. And it's going to be taken back. Here comes a flag from way downfield at the 35-yard line. Let's get the call on that. David Thomas, the tight end, took the short kick. So it's going to be holding against Texas. Reese Davis, let's check in with you.
All right, Ron, coming up at halftime, Trev Alberts and Martin May with me. What's next for Stephen Orr Spurrier?
He will return to coaching, but I'll let you know at halftime, will it be in the NFL or back to the college ranks?
Taking another look at an amazing career and performance by B.J. Simmons in the Houston Bowl, Reese.
It certainly was an outstanding day for him. We'll also look ahead to some other games in Capital One Bowl week, including who might have the edge in the power running matchup between Wisconsin and Auburn.
Okay, Reese, we look forward to that and hearing what you guys have to say in the halftime show. 52 seconds now showing on the clock. And Chance Mock has come into the ball game. Selvin Young is the tailback. And Chance Mock is the man who, in the final minute of the Texas Tech game, drove Texas for a touchdown. And they say he understands the 2-minute drill better than does Vince Young. That pass right there, he got a hit on the arm as he delivered it, and it was well short as Brown was coming with pressure.
Yeah, tried to get the ball to Roy Williams again. Texas got to find a way to get number 4, Roy Williams, involved in this offense.
Mock is 0 of 3 throwing tonight. You saw Vince Young standing on the sideline. Been a little bit of a frustrating first half for him. And with all the looks and all the blitzes that Washington State brings on you, you can understand why. Mock going to give it off in the reverse. Selvin Young breaks it up the middle. Cuts out across the 40 and he's loose. Young at the 40. At the 30. Did not get out of bounds. And is going to be stopped at the 36. Payma made the tackle, but it's a gain of 48 yards in the play.
Well, a good block by Roy Williams downfield. Texas got to get ready right here. Flag on the field.
Personal foul on the defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Those are the kind of penalties that this gentleman's ball club has had to endure this year. That it just, you know, Bill's a patient guy, but he has to be upset after actually Young made a mistake by not getting what he could and getting out of bounds. And then they wind up with a personal foul. So Texas scrimmages from the 12.5-yard line.
Still 2 timeouts.
Mock sets in the pocket right over the middle. Got him. Almost intercepted as Eric Coleman came across the middle. And boy, he had a receiver open in the back of the end zone. But Coleman played possum and just about got the pick.
Yeah, free safety. Eric Coleman's all over this football field. He's had a great first half. Captain of the defense.
Coleman 5 tackles and 2 breakups tonight.
Yeah, talking about Chance Mock, 2 quarterbacks. Texas needs 2 quarterbacks right now. Both good friends.
Benson back in the lineup. They rolled the pocket as the blitz comes. Got the pass. Too tall, intending it for Sloan Thomas. And now Texas is kind of frittering away some downs here with some play calls that haven't even come close. On that long run by Selvin Young. Selvin, really a sophomore out of Jersey Village. For the first time the entire season, he is healthy. And the coaches say, you know, people thought this year was because Benson, he was public about some things that happened at school and that he was not overly happy with. But Selvin Young simply couldn't play. He's had a groin injury that has lasted just about the entire season. 3rd down. They need to take it to the 3.5-yard line. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up. Waited too long, and he's going to be sacked. You can't wait on this defense. There are not enough blockers to block the number of people that they send, and Durding was all over.
Yeah, Durding really makes a big play right here. Chance Mauch going over the sideline saying I didn't have enough time, but he did have time to throw this football. Durding gets up after being blocked and makes that play. That's a great lesson right there for young football players. He got blocked, he got back up, and he made the sack.
Durding, by the way, you need to understand, a very emotional player. And the wonderful thing about Will, his favorite activity outside of football is steer wrestling.
Well, he wrestled a steer right there because he brought Chance Mauch down. A big play.
That's a huge play. A 39-yard field goal attempt with 8 seconds showing on the clock. David Pino, a sophomore out of Wichita Falls, played at Rider High School.
Washington State may take a timeout here.
Dusty Mangum had been the kicker, pulled a quad muscle, loosening up against Texas Tech. And Mack Brown is fortunate that he had David Pino on scholarship and had him at school, because in high school he had a 58-yarder, so he's very capable. Here's Dusty Mangum on the sideline. You have to think, talk about frustrating things that can happen to you. This youngster out of Mesquite, Texas, is loosening up to go back in the ball game, pulls a quad muscle, and he has been able to kick since then.
You know he wants to be on that field right now. I wouldn't be surprised Washington State uses their next time out here. They were talking about Trev Albert and Reese, and Mark May was talking about Steve Spurrier. I'll tell you this, if he sits out, and I think he will, every college football coach that's in trouble next year is going to be nervous.
You don't have a preliminary list, do you?
No.
Mack Brown hollering encouragement. Now let's see if they do use that final timeout. 39-yard attempt from the near hash mark. David Pino, plenty of distance, and he's got it. So Texas comes away with a field goal. Mack Brown had hoped desperately that they could come up with a touchdown, but it was not to be following the long run by Selvin Young. And Pino was good, and the Longhorns have 4 seconds showing on the clock and a 10-7 lead. Well, this is what set up the field goal.
Yeah, Selvin Young with a great run down here to put him in a position, a draw play, a safe play. Texas, Greg Davis makes the call, and they get points on the board. Just thinking about the halftime, Texas got to find a way to throw the football. They have not been able to throw the football. Everything they get on the ground. Their football game, they have not been able to get the ball to Roy Williams or any of the wide receivers.
How about this stat? At halftime in the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl, the team that has trailed at halftime has won the last 6 Holiday Bowls.
Well, don't show that to Texas coaches. Washington State has played an inspired first half.
Kick on the ground. Being picked up at the 11-yard line by Moore. And Moore still looking for running room. Tries to get it to the sideline. Clock is run out. And he will go out of bounds at around the 25. So we are at halftime. And as we head for a break, it's Texas 10 and Washington State 7. Now here's Reese Davis with the halftime report. Reese.
Ron, favorites are 10-1 in the bowl season so far. The lone underdog to win came from the Pac-10 in Cal, and right now another Pac-10 underdog down by field goal at the half. Trev Alberts and Mark May with me. And Mark, you know, you watch this Texas team in the first half right now, and See the rotating quarterbacks again.
He loves it.
I don't like that. You guys know that. Pick a quarterback, Mac Brown. Stick with one. Let a quarterback get adjusted in the game to reach a comfort level. And if you're going to pick a quarterback in this situation, I think you have to go with Vince Young. These are the reasons why. If you look at Washington State's defense, they are blitzing from almost every angle possible in this football game. Now, you have to make halftime adjustments. This is one. You either do this, max protect, and let your quarterback sit in the pocket and throw the ball, which you haven't done thus far, or you take Vince Young, let him roll out of the pocket, use his athleticism to beat the blitz. And, Trev, if you look at both of these teams, I'm really impressed by the emotions of both of these teams in the first half.
Very athletic, Mark. You're absolutely right. You always talk about that offensive line. I know we'd come back to the offensive line, but you mentioned the pressure. I think that's the point, Mark. The reason why Vincent Young is not in this game, he's 5 of 11 for 14 yards. He's seeing looks, he's seeing blitzes, and I don't think the young man can handle all these blitzes. I know he has the athleticism to move on the outside and pick up games with his feet, but the point is this: Washington State's defense is so tremendous in its ability to get pressure on the quarterback and get turnovers. Now, here's the key. Offensively for Washington State, only 1 turnover so far, and Jonathan Smith is getting involved out of the backfield in the screen game. Very impressed. If Washington State does not turn the football over, they've been very good all season, Reese.
You know, Texas has been in the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl 3 of the last 4 years. Some question whether they would have the proper mindset. They know they have a football game right now. Washington State within 3. Coming up at halftime, we will tell you the story of exactly what B.J. Simmons did that only one other quarterback in college football history in 1A has been able to do. The EV1.net Houston Bowl will also have the latest on Steve Spurrier's decision to step down in Washington. 10-7 at the break in San Diego.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2003 Pacific Life Holiday Bowl, presented by Pacific Life, offering insurance, annuities, and investments.
Welcome back to the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. We want to show you the fireworks display, or a part of it, that occurred at halftime. And this halftime show dedicated a very sincere thanks to the men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces. Because of their efforts, it allows us to enjoy freedom, games like we see tonight, and also the American spirit. So some of the beauty and pageantry here at halftime in San Diego at Qualcomm Stadium. Our score is Texas leading 10-7 at halftime, the lowest scoring Holiday Bowl on record. And Mike Gottfried, the one thing when I look at these halftime stats, it just truly jumps out at me. Texas, 5 of 16 throwing, total yardage, 14 passing yards in the first half. That's what you were talking about. That's what has to change in the second 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think what you're going to see Texas do is bring a tight end in the football game and max protect. Use the tight end to block, the back to block, and send 1 or 2 receivers out. Because they've had Roy Williams a couple times on deep throws. They just can't get it to him because bad field position, the quarterback's under duress. But I think you're going to see more and more of it. And if Texas doesn't hit the big pass play, I think they're in trouble here.
Almost 17 minutes possession time by Texas. That actually very even in the first half. But it was Washington State when they really needed it, coming down the field, putting together a drive, and they will show you that after we kick off the second half. Right now, after that fireworks display, Mike, I think we're going to have to wait for a couple of seconds because there is so much smoke in the stadium. I'm not sure the youngsters are going to be able to see the football on the kickoff play here. But an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous sight. San Diego rolls out the carpet, and this bowl game has always been just absolutely a wonderful event to attend. Adrian Karsten, let's check down on the sideline with you.
Ron, I'm smiling because it's as if coach has not lost his touch as far as locker room situations are concerned. Both Coach Brown and Bill on the other side say this game will come down to a passing situation. Max says yes. We can go deep as long as we can beat those guys on the corners. Get them down there. They're open long enough. I just need Vince to make a decision a little bit faster. On defense for Washington State, in the first half, they think they did a pretty good job jamming those receivers, but not long enough. They've got to keep them up there, force Vince Young to make a second decision, then they feel they have it.
Well, Richmond McGee has the ball teed up. Washington State, you remember, won the toss, but they deferred. Sammy Moore is the deep man along with Jonathan Smith, and here's the kick. Going to come down to Moore, 1 yard deep. And Moore is going to be hammered at the 22-yard line. Tonight's Game Track brought to you by Pacific Life. Texas scored first. Cedric Benson taking it in from 1 yard out. And in the pass play, Sammy Moore on the receiving end of the Kegel pass, and we're tied. And then the handoff on the draw play to Selvin Young. Takes it for the long haul. And the Longhorns looked as though they might even wind up with a touchdown before halftime, but they had to go for the field goal. They got it, and that's how we stand at 10-7 here for the beginning of the third quarter. Lundy in motion. Handoff inside. Jonathan Smith going to be knocked down hard. Reed, Boyd, one of the first men to get there. Also at the bottom of the stack is Wright. Roderick Wright, a sophomore out of Alief Hastings.
And Ron, Matt Kegel in the first half was 10 for 16. One pick where he made a mistake on the free safety. Giger coming over the top. But really had a pretty good first half. Now, I expect him to get untracked a little bit here in the second half, too.
DeBart Darling is split wide to the left. He is at the bottom of your screen as you see the numbers on Kegel. He's going to hold on to it, looking to throw, and got the pass in and out of the hands of Lundy, the intended receiver, and Kegel got knocked down pretty hard after he delivered the pass.
Yeah, Lundy should have held on to that football. Kegel did a good job here on the fake, and then he rolls and buys time for Scott Lundy to get open.
Michael Huff brings up third down, 3rd and 9.
Just one of the outstretched hands.
So it's third down Washington State. They're down at about 9. They need to take it out to the 32-yard line to keep the drive going. You look at number 95, big Marcus Tubbs out of DeSoto, Texas. Sets, quick throw, tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it's caught by Washington State. And close to the first down is Harvey.
I think he made it.
I think he did too.
The ball is caught by number 88.
I think Kalen Thornton is the man who gets a hand on it. See if you can pick up number 43.
He's brought down number 27.
Yep, yes. It is. Kalen Thornton. You talk about right place, right time.
Yeah, it worked out well for Washington State, but that's what you teach young defensive linemen. When you get stalemated at the line of scrimmage, get those hands up. Good things can happen. Of course, there. Right place, right time, like you said.
I'm sure Mike Levenseller is going, wow, that could have gone into a burnt orange jersey as easily as it came into ours. Jonathan Smith has a guard in front of him, and he's going to fight for about 5 yards. So in the first half, Jonathan Smith.
So they hit him on the draw. He gets outside. He can run the football. Now, we talked about his deceptive speed. Here they caught Texas on a blitz. Got the ball out to Jonathan Smith. Shows good power downfield.
Giger finally came over to make the tackle. Washington State now with the second down. They need about 5.5 yards for the first. Kegel look in right over the middle. Got it complete. Close to the first down as Boyd comes over to make the tackle. And right now, Washington State very patient to just kind of pick away.
Yeah, everything quick. Quick draw, the quick screen. Vildoba's team knows it's a big series right here. In Texas, in the first half, the field position was lousy for them. You'd like to flip the field if you're Texas defensively.
Chris Bruin, the junior out of Woodland, California, number 33, comes in at tailback. Lundy in motion. We give it to Bruin. Nothing. Hit at the line of scrimmage. In fact, he's going to be knocked down for a loss. Derek Johnson was the first man there, and then he got a help from Giger and Aaron Harris.
Derek Johnson leads Texas in tackles. 7 forced turnovers this year. He just steps up in there, pushes the guard out of the way, and holds on to the ankle.
First team All-American this year, and only a junior. Some people speculate that he will not go out early, that he will stay. He said the decision comes after the season, not now. Ball is tipped, incomplete. And boy, gambling on the play and almost coming up with the interception. Vasher was there, but it was almost a little too much of a stare down, wasn't it, Mike?
Yeah, Vasher has had 17 interceptions. Next interception, he takes over the Texas history. Noble Doss, 1941. Takes over the record for most interceptions. Almost had it there.
He might have had 6 points if he made that pick as well. Now it's 3rd down and 12, Washington State. 4 wide receiver set. No blitz for Texas. They bring the down 4. Right over the middle. Clock complete. Hit immediately well short of the first down.
Pretty good drive, Ron, because you get field position. Now if the punter does the job, then you pin Texas again.
Let me tell you something. Somebody told at halftime, the center of the field, they have resodded, Mike, and there's no cover for this field. And the rain that has happened in the last week and a half, it's almost like a sponge. So the ball is really, it dies easily. So both punters, if they want to kill one, they need to knock it dead in the middle of the field. It's a beautiful kick. Driving spiral, kicks it away. It's going to go out of bounds just around the 10-yard line, and now they will signal it out at the 13. So we'll take a break. 43 yards in the punt. Texas by 3. We'll be right back. Texas leads by a field goal. And a reminder, the beautiful aerial shots of San Diego and tonight's game brought to you live from the Sanyo Lightship. As I mentioned early on in the ball game, the cause of the early weather conditions and what appeared to be on the way, a really bad front. It went south of here, and so we are great. It's really great to have the Sanyo Lightship with us. We're afraid we're not going to be able to provide that for you. Vincent Young at quarterback. You see the blitz coming off the corner. He runs away from it, cuts it back up into the field of play, and he's going to wind up with about 4 yards. Mike, we talked about the 3-headed monster. If you're having to face Texas, look at these numbers.
Here's the one that's got to change right here. That one right there. That's got to change. That's got to be a big play there. They got to find a way. Max protect, get the ball to him, because Jason David is a pretty good corner. Has done a pretty good job on Roy Williams, but he had him beat a couple times. Not enough time to throw the ball.
See him creeping up. Try to throw the bubble screen. Williams makes the catch, tackled immediately. That may not be any gain as Isaac Brown is out there to make the tackle.
Well, you're right. The defensive end, Isaac Brown, undersized, but it has 116 career tackles.
So it's 3rd down, Texas, and their woes continue with the passing game. They only had, as we showed you, 14 passing yards at halftime. Right now they're confronted with a 3rd down, and they need to take it out to just over the 23-yard line to keep this drive going.
May roll him out right here, Ron.
See the blitz coming right up the middle of the field, and a delayed handoff. Benson not going to go anywhere. That defense again, is Jeremy Williams is there to make the tackle. One of the real leaders of this team. He's a 2-year starter. He's already graduated.
Eric Coleman to the safety. Vincent Young has to make sure he knows where he's at. He's all over the football field. He'd be my player of the half right now.
4th time the Texas is punted. They're coming after him again. Very high, good coverage kick. Moore is going to run away from it. Now it takes a Washington State bounce and comes back across the 45. And they're going to take over with an excellent field position. 42 yards on the boot.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2003 Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. Presented by Pacific Life. Offering insurance, annuities, and investments. And in part by Pontiac. Catch the Rose Bowl halftime show for the return of a legend. The 350 horsepower Pontiac GTO.
You know those beautiful shots right there coming from San Diego Harbor. You look at the skyline of downtown San Diego.
Home of Bill Warndell.
Is it big enough? 1st and 10. They take it over again with excellent field position. This time at the 46. Kegel sets to throw. Going to go on top. Looking for Darling. No, Moore makes the catch. Touchdown, Washington State. .54 yards on the pass play. Moore with his 2nd touchdown of the night. And I said to you that Levin Seller told us in our meeting day before yesterday, the offensive coordinator, he said we've got to take our shots because they give us so much man coverage. And it's one of those things where we'll take our chances on whether we can beat that cornerback or not.
Cedric Griffin was in bump and run.
Dunning with the extra point attempted and hits the upright, and it is no good. Boy, for a guy who has been so consistent, the career scoring leader, the most consistent, misses an extra point.
Here's the bump and run. Cedric Griffin in bump and run coverage, and Sammy Moore just runs under this football. Well thrown by Matt Kegel.
He stepped out of bounds, Mike.
Kegel with the throw.
Right there.
Canadian Field.
He stepped out of bounds.
And he scored. And the Texas fans just saw it. And he,
yep, he's on the out of bounds line right there. That's the reason we hesitated, because the official who was backing the play was watching the sideline, and the official standing at the end zone line waited, did not get an out of bounds call, so they signal touchdown.
Big missed extra point. Big. Because it makes it a field goal game. Just hooked it.
He just yanked it. I mean, he seemed to over kick it, which you obviously don't need to do on an extra point. Selvin Young knocked off his feet with really good coverage. Ball is loose, and the official says no, that he was down.
Yeah, he was down. He really gave the football up after he was knocked down.
There's a replay of it. This is Jason Hill who comes up with the big hit. He just puts a shoulder down and knocks him down right there, and then the ball came loose.
Texas has to answer right now. You've got to get the ball to Roy Williams.
Vince Young turns, possibly inaudible, to Cedric Benson, and it's the option play, and they pitch it back, and Benson nowhere to go. Adrian Karsten, let's check with you.
Ron, it's like every single time we get this gentleman on the sidelines at the Holiday Bowl, things get tight and exciting again. One of the most respected inductees ever to the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl Hall of Fame, LaVell Edwards, 29 years as head coach at BYU. Here we go again, 3-point game. Why do you think these games are always so tight in this?
Well, it's unbelievable. That first half, what are they doing playing defense in the Holiday Bowl? This is supposed to be an offensive place, but what a great ball game. Two great football teams, well coached, this typical Holiday Bowl.
11 Holiday Bowls for you. It's so much fun to have you in the hall. In 1991, you played to a tie with another gentleman here this weekend. Tell us about that.
Hayden Fry's here with us. We're chairman or whatever you want to call it, whatever. Anyway, we're here, and but Hayden is getting his knee replaced next week, and it's a little bit of a trek for him to get down here, so he had to beg off.
Ron, it's the memories from Coach that makes the motivation for all of us here at the Holiday Bowl. Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you, Adrian.
No question about it. Adrian, let me tell you something. You talk about accountability. He and his wife, Patty, they retired and rather taking time off. They have just spent a year and a half of their life on a Mormon mission in New York City. Now, I don't know too many people who are just that fine, and I'll tell you that's exactly what they are. Lavelle Edwards, a winner, always has been. Young sets in the pocket, now going to run it, cuts it back into the middle of the field, and he will have the first down. Ashalanu is the man who comes up with the tackle. Mike, I think they're going to have to just do that some too, to go in the pocket and run it up the field. Yeah.
And get him on the outside, sprint him out a little bit. Vincent Young, that's been the best offense tonight for Texas. But you got to give Washington State credit now. I'm telling you, their defense from the start of this football game has been grinding this game. I mean, they playing like they're running sky high.
Well, they come showing blitz again. It's there. Flag is down. And the ball pitched back wildly on the ground. And Cedric Benson got back to make the recovery. I'm not so sure he didn't bounce that off Will Matthews.
He did. He did. But they're moving before the play. Vincent Young, he in this true of a freshman, redshirt freshman. He'll make one big play and then he'll make a mistake. And he's going to learn from this.
Let me ask you this. Why is there a decision? Play should have been whistled down because there was movement.
Illegal motion. The offense. Penalties decline. Second down.
Okay, Mac knows right now that this he's got to get this football game going his way. Texas offense last 6 games run wild and passing wild. Tonight again, give Washington State credit because they've done a great job on Texas's offense.
So the penalty stepped off, and they have moved it back to the 31-yard line, or declined. Was it? Okay.
Here's Roy Williams. And you know one thing, this corner knows how good he is.
Now the safety has backed off to very deep center field. They throw it high, the ball is tipped and incomplete. And again, Young just got a little too excited and flinged it out there too quickly and too high.
You'd be excited too if you see Roy Williams out there wide open right here. The good Pema really gives him a good cushion, but the ball's thrown too high.
They've thrown to him 8 times. He has 4 catches for a total of 6 yards.
And that's the big determining factor in this football game right now. If they can continue this.
Well, they dropped those 2 safeties off. Young gonna run it. And he's going to be hit. Ball comes loose at the 35-yard line. And the officials say, nope, he is down. Hit by Don Jackson.
Yeah, Don Jackson leads a team in tackles. And the other thing about Donald Jackson is he did not play football till his junior year in high school. Late bloomer. No, that knee's down.
7 tackles for Jackson so far in the ball game. Richmond McGee stands by to punt. Sammy Moore is the deep man, and it's been Moore who's done the damage tonight with 2 touchdown catches. Wobbly spiral, line drive, and Moore from the 23. Being hit, gets by the 1 tackle, gets a block, and now he's free. Moore cuts it back into the middle of the field. and finally going to be tackled down at the 26-yard line.
One of the best punt returns I've seen in a long time. Sammy Moore.
Michael Griffin had him in his grasp. Watch this. But nobody got there in time to help him out.
Well, he picks up some blocks now, but he does a lot of this on his own. Makes a cut back.
And Richmond McGee, the punter, is the man who finally grabbed him.
Got a nice block right there. And Washington State, great field position.
They've had great field position all night.
Whole game.
Lundy in motion. Swings it out of the flat, and the ball is in and out of the hands of his intended receivers. The ball is dropped by Jonathan Smith. Same play that they were so successful on in the first half. They tried to get isolation on the linebacker, and Texas didn't even have coverage in the first half. And that time, that might have gone for big yardage also.
This is a big series for the Texas defense right here.
13-10, Washington State on top as we've just moved past the midway point of this third quarter. And you remember the stat we showed you just before halftime. In the last 6 Holiday Bowls, the team trailing at halftime came away with the victory. Jonathan Smith right up the middle, high stepping, and he's going to take it to around the 21 before Kalen Thornton makes the tackle. Thornton now with a total of 6 tackles. 3 of those, actually 4 of those, are solo. And he broke up a pass as well.
Mack Brown urging his defense right here to come up with a big play on third down.
Matt Kegel. With third down, got it away with 1 tick left on the clock. Right over the middle, has it complete. The tackle made immediately, but Lundy is going to have the first down.
Lundy snuck in between the linebackers, and the excellent throw by Matt Kegel. Both these linebackers had a shot at Lundy, but Matt Kegel slides to the right, puts that ball in the hole right there. That's a well-thrown football.
That ball was even tipped.
Yep.
Mike, the ball was even tipped. Aaron Harris winds up as the first man to get there and make contact. So the Cougars in great field position inside the 15-yard line as you look at the numbers on Kegel. 198 yards, 2 touchdowns tonight, both of those to Moore. And Smith right at the middle at the 5, and he'll score. And now a flag has been thrown in the base of the end zone.
Sent Kegel in motion, which gets a linebacker out of there.
Touchdown. Sportsmanlike conduct. The offense.
You know, dear sir, I'm sure you were a great official, but there was nothing, there was nobody dancing. That is a team excitement. How can you throw a flag on that? I'm sorry. I really disagree with that.
Well, rules are rules, but I felt like they did all they wanted to do was celebrate the touchdown.
Yeah, I did too.
Jonathan Smith with a good run, a well-devised play right there.
Drew Dunning to attempt the extra point. He hit the upright on his last attempt. Good pass, and he knocks this one home right down the middle. So let's take a timeout. With 5:50 left in the third quarter, all of a sudden we've had fireworks, not just at halftime, but here in the third quarter. And all of a sudden the Cougars of Washington State go on top on this Jonathan Smith touchdown by a count of 20-10. So we are back. Mike, go with the all-22. What happened
Derek
here?
Johnson. Now, I thought somebody moved when the quarterback went in motion, but they didn't. But watch Derek Johnson right here. He comes free, but falls down. And all of a sudden, they're blocking everybody else, and the safety misses a tackle also. In a play that probably the drop ball helped Jonathan Smith there on the snap.
Well, maybe that dance right there was what they threw the flag on. as far as an individual celebration. But because of the penalty, it's been moved back to the 20-yard line. And here's the kick. Line drive. It's going to be taken at the 17 by Selvin Young. And Young is going to take it back across the 40 and out around the 43. Well, Thursday morning, New Year's Day, Capital One Bowl Week continues at 11 a.m. Eastern. It will be the Iowa Hawkeyes, number 12, taking on the 17th-ranked Florida Gators. Coverage begins with College Game Day, built by Home Depot at 9:30 Eastern.
Ron, I think Texas, this football game right now, Chance Mock is the guy I think is going to bring them back. And he's in the football game right now. He's the better passer of the two.
Junior out of the Woodlands, Texas, just north of Houston. Washington State shows blitz, and they do. They get it off to Williams, and Williams is going to be stopped at the 50. Pema came up to make the tackle. That is the first completion by Chance Mock. Adrian Carson, what do you have for us?
Guess who showed up late tonight, Ron? Retiring after 16 years at the University of Texas, 19-year-old Bevo. I've been with some great mascots in college football a long time, but I got to tell you, 1,900 pounds. Bevo showed up late because of the fireworks celebration. Believe me, been around him for a long time. You don't want to do anything to startle him or anger the young man. That means he went to college at the University of Texas when he was 3 years old, Ron. Retires after tonight's game.
Well, just say he's very precocious. Mock sets deep in the pocket. Good protection. Throws the ball too high for B.J. Johnson. And again, Texas had a receiver open. That one was closer, but it was just too tall.
Yeah, Virgil Williams in coverage, but Johnson was there, and he was open. You know, I think Chance Mock got the defensive guy back in his face on that play. Pretty good throw. Saw a great catch the other day in the pros. Brandon Lloyd of Illinois made a great catch in the pro game. 49ers.
Third down, and they need to take it to the Washington State 46-yard line.
Here they come.
Yep, they have shown blitz all night, and they come right here. Gonna have to hurry. He's got him open and got it off. And did he make the catch? Yes. The ball caught by Scaife. Bo Scaife, the tight end, and it all depends on where this thing's going to be spotted. Eric Coleman providing the pressure.
Yeah, Eric Coleman, the safety. He's going to be on a safety blitz. Comes untouched, jumps up, then forces Chance Mock out to the outside.
He hadn't committed with the jump.
Yeah.
Heading dead to rights.
Big play there for Chance Mock. Moving those chains.
Under 5 minutes to play, third quarter. Vince Young watches on the sideline. This blitz has given Vince Young real problems tonight, so they come in with Mock. Well, they come with the blitz. Short drop going to be hit, and he'll be sacked. Back at the 45-yard line, and it's Eric Coleman who comes through.
I think you're almost better to be in the shotgun against this defensive football team because they're blitzing, they're coming free, and they're right in your face. But he was trying to throw the quick game on this play, which would be better served taking the snap.
You know what, Mike? I think I'd even come down to a situation where I'd run a one-man route. And that's Roy Williams, because you can't cover him one-on-one anyway, and get max protect and see if you can come up with something.
You got Chance Mock in the shotgun right now. You got a better view of this thing.
Washington State score. They stay at home, and the pass is lobbed. Got a man wide open, and they threw it to him out of bounds. Sloan Thomas. Wow. He looked like the first guy out to the workout. Virgil Williams, I'd love to say was covering, but he wasn't close enough to be covering on the play. He was beaten badly.
Ron, they had an altercation here, too, also. Jonathan Scott, number 73, may have taken the exception of the hit on Chance Mock. He's not a real happy camper right now.
Jonathan, a 6'7", 297-pound sophomore out of Dallas Carter. So it's third down. In Texas, if they want to keep this drive going, they need to go down to the 36-yard line. 20-10. Cougars of Washington State lead it.
Now you're going to get to safety over the top of.
Well, you got a free play here. A free play, and they throw it underneath to Cedric Benson, and Benson puts on a move and will not get to the first down. Ancelano is the man who jumped offside. Mike, you're going to have to give up some yardage here, aren't you, and take the penalty?
Yeah, you want that down back. Unless you're going to go for it on 4th down. What's happening now is Chance Mock's trying to get the answer from Mack Brown. Mack saying
Offside.
decline it.
Defense. Penalties declined.
Now they're going to go for it in the 4th down. 4th and 3. Give up the yardage for the down.
You agree?
Good question. You've asked a couple of good questions tonight. Yeah, if it works, 4th and 3, I agree.
Bo Scaife comes into the lineup, number 80, senior tight end out of Denver.
Yeah, I like this call. I want to say this to you ahead of time. I like the call right here.
Now a timeout being taken by Texas as Chance Mock wants to come over to the sideline and talk it over. So we'll take a break. 3 minutes exactly left in this 3rd quarter. Right back. Welcome back to the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl.
I want to go back to this call because what you do is it was 3rd and 14. So if you'd have taken the 5-yard penalty, you'd have had
3rd and 9.
3rd and 9. And they're trading this for 4th and 3. Only good if you make it.
Cougars show blitz. Let's see if they stay at home. Nope, they're coming after him. Stepping up, going to be hit. Down, ball is loose. Recovered by Washington State.
A little dirty.
Rob Akey, the defensive coordinator, and I told you he gets very emotional on the sideline, cheering for his guys because they came through again.
I was watching him at the walkthrough yesterday, and they were going through all their blitzes, and I was watching the corners. They were folding their hands, folding their arms. They weren't doing anything, which means they're on an island. Here comes a blitz, and they just cave in the offensive line of Texas.
Tupai, Ty Tupai is the man who made the tackle. As you can look at the defensive coordinator Mike was just talking about. So Washington State again. How many times have we said this tonight? Great field position. Right over the middle. The ball is incomplete. Johnson with the cover on Harvey.
Here's what I want to say right now. Keagle. We talked about him. We talked about Matt Keagle, the practice. He threw the football. His coach told me about it when I went to practice. I almost felt sorry for him, the coach, because he said Matt Keagle, when he throws the ball, his shoulder hurts. This guy has played lights out tonight.
Oh, he has
played great with 2 sore shoulders.
Well, one thing goes without saying. The Longhorns are going to have to keep points off the board from Washington State if they want a chance to win this game. And wow, what a hit by Nathan Vasher on Jonathan Smith.
Talked about Matt Keagle. Here's his injuries against Arizona. In the game against Stanford, they came off the sideline. They put his shoulder back in. He went back on the field. And Bill Doba said the guy is just a gutty performer and has played hurt all year.
Chris Bruin comes into the ball game at tailback. 3rd down, they need to take it to the Texas 42. Here comes pressure. He runs out of harm's way. And oh, does he take a shot? It is almost intercepted. And that was Derek Johnson, the speedy linebacker. And right now, Keagle is down.
We talked about those shoulders. Now, he took a hit. I think he's all okay. But Derek Johnson unloaded. This would have been an interception, but the defender slipped. Here's Johnson on the hit. Levels Matt Keagle. Lucky this ball didn't get picked off.
Bosler into punt. And this is not a good kick. It's a line drive. But again, it takes a favorable Washington State bounce. And I said it is going to go dead at the 5-yard line. He has shown touch that is simply unbelievable tonight.
He might be the player of the game.
You're right. That's 3 times that he has nailed the ball at the 5, the 4, and the 2.5-yard line.
And the passing game of Texas is not alive tonight. And they need somebody to get hot.
Keegle on the sideline in pain after that hit by Derek Johnson.
I believe what Mack Brown is doing right now is the right thing, because Chance Mock gives them the best shot. Throws the ball better.
Well, he better get rid of this one. He does. Gets it off to Scaife, the tight end. Ball comes loose. Picked up by Washington State. And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown, Jason David. David Thomas on the receiving end. Got hit. The ball comes loose. And a flag is down.
Everything going right for Washington State right now. Good hit.
After the touchdown, unsportsmanlike, Washington State 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
One thing down, they got that rule down.
Dunning to attempt the extra point, trying to make it a 27-10 ball game, and that ball is blocked, picked off in the air by 45 Reed Boyd. And let's go back and take a look at the touchdown.
You talk about a hit now here. Chance Mock, good coverage, make him throw the ball. He throws it to Thomas, but then the lick is delivered by Eric Coleman, the same guy that's been doing all the things. And Durning comes back with a great block. Number 51. They play to the whistle. Watch Durning. Watch a block right there. Is Thomas's knee down?
Nope.
Nope. I don't believe so.
Nope, the knee was not down. A hit was made. Didn't protect the football, and when you are in harm's way, there's a good example of why you should. Now, the Longhorns have got a taller mountain to climb as they're down 26-10.
Mount Everest. Big mountain. You know, you wonder again, Fiesta Bowl, number 5 team in the country. But I think they've played hard. I think Washington State has just played lights out.
Shelvin Young gets to the outside and goes out of bounds at around the 49-yard line.
Shelvin Young from the 20-yard line.
On New Year's Day at 4:30 Eastern, the most talked about bowl championship series in history begins as USC looks to prove they are championship material against Michigan in the Rose Bowl, presented by Citi.
Talk about that being one of the championship games, and Texas beat a 7-5 LSU team last year, 35-20 in the Cotton Bowl. So a year later, LSU's playing for the national championship. That's what coaches are selling their teams on right now. Finish strong.
From the 49, Mock waiting a very long time, and now throws this one and throws it way too hard to Brett Robin. And Bruce was the man coming with pressure.
94, the backup defensive end, Crystal Bruce. The quarterbacks just have not settled down for Texas. and give Washington State the defense. They just active. Coming from all over. The quarterbacks think there's 13 guys on defense.
Yep, here they come showing blitz again. Yep. 8 men in the box as they come with the blitz. Mock runs, gets it away, and in and out of the hands. Sloan Thomas dropped it.
And when they've had a reception, they can't hang on. Everything's under duress for the offense. I mean, nothing's easy. The one drive they had, they ran the ball with Cedric Benson. But here, Sloan Thomas has a shot at that ball. You've got to make plays.
Hema is the man who was trying to cover on the play. So it is now 3rd down Texas. They need to take it to the 41-yard line if they want to hold on to the football and keep this drive going. Mock right over the middle, has it complete. That's enough for the first down as B.J. Johnson came open. He threw it a little bit behind him, but B.J. did a good adjustment and made the grab.
Then also no blitz on this play. All of a sudden, Washington State said, we're going to play coverage. And Chance Mock made it pay. I bet one thing, they're going to come here.
Actually, they're coming with a four-man rush. Gets it to Selvin Young. And Young gets by one tackler and knocked out of bounds at the 29 by Scott Davis.
Roy Williams ran a streak route on the left side right here. You're going to see him as he runs by the defender, but didn't get the football.
Cedric Benson checks back into the lineup for Texas. David Thomas, number 16, comes back in at tight end.
Be a good time to get Cedric Benson back involved right here. Give him the football.
1:41 left to play, 3rd quarter. 16-point lead, Washington State. Benson takes it to the left side, and just what Mike was talking about, he'll go inside to 25 before Coleman stops him. Good job by Jonathan Scott and Tillman Holloway on the block.
A lot of time left here, Ron. If Texas can cash in right here, I mean, they're right back in this football game. Down 2 scores, 2 two-point plays.
Washington State simply missing 1 extra point as they hit the upright, and the last one was blocked.
Here's Roy Williams. Get him the ball.
Blitz up the middle, quick look right over the middle, throws it complete, and that play will continue because he never hit the ground. David Thomas on the catch.
David Thomas alertly, you're right, made that play. Just a little hook over the middle. Never goes down, lunges forward for a couple more yards.
Trying to make amends for that football that he
got hit.
Let get to the ground just a few moments ago that cost Texas a touchdown. 40 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Here's Benson, left side. And he'll go to the 12. Steve Cook will make the stop on him.
Good drive by Chance Mock at the quarterback position.
Could be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Benson. And Benson is finally going to be tackled at the 6-yard line by Eric Coleman. 5 seconds down to 4, and that will be the final play of the 3rd. Washington State outscores Texas 19-0 in the 3rd quarter. So we'll take a break. We'll come back for the final 15 minutes of this year's Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. We are back in San Diego. 4th quarter headed your way. The Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, Adrian Karsten, great to have you along this evening from San Diego, 8 o'clock Pacific time. And the rains have not come, but actually it poured on Texas in the third quarter. 19 unanswered points by the Cougars of Washington State. Texas with a second down. Jason Glenn, the junior out of Richardson, out of the football. And it's Cedric Benson to the right side, fighting hard. And I believe he's going to have the first down. Don Jackson was the first man to make the hit. Tonight's Game Track brought to you by Pacific Life. And here's a tightrope for a touchdown, and Moore makes the catch. Looks back at the official, and the official says, you scored. Then here's Jonathan Smith taking it up the middle on a direct snap. And then this ball here caught by the tight end David Thomas, but he got hit by Eric Coleman, causing the turnover. And Jason David took it in for the score.
Nobody but Cedric Benson should touch the ball here.
First and goal, Longhorns. Well, there's try number one by Benson, hit, and he's going to be stopped, I believe, for loss. Don Jackson again coming in to make the tackle. 9 tackles for Don Jackson, senior out of Natchez, Mississippi.
Cedric Benson has a nose for the end zone. 20 touchdowns coming into this game. And as Mack Brown and Greg Davis said, he's a better runner toward the end of the game.
Needs to get it going with his ball club down by 16. Second and goal. They fake it to him, want to throw the pass, and did he get rid of it? Ball is too tall, almost intercepted by guess who? Eric Coleman.
You know, the thing that Washington State has done is a good job of is getting their ends upfield. Their defensive ends, they don't buy those fakes. They get right up the field. Good pressure. Braidwood, number 13.
12th play of the drive coming up.
I'm going to go back to Benson. We're going to throw the football, maybe a fade right here.
Yep, that's what he's going to do. Puts it up, looking for the end zone, and he overthrows it. Now, the situation with Texas, just before halftime, they come up with the long run by Selvin Young and wound up having to go for a field goal rather than punching the ball in. And now they wind up with a situation here where they're going to have to put the field goal unit on the field. And both of those could have been a total of 14 points, which would really make a difference in this football game.
Fade, poorly thrown.
David Pino, the sophomore out of Wichita Falls, will attempt the field goal, this one of 19 yards. Tony Jeffrey is the holder.
Yes.
And he gets that one, so we will take a timeout. 13:32 left in our ball game with the new score. Washington State 26, Texas 13. Well, welcome back to the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. Take a look at the San Diego Zoo, one of the largest and most impressive zoos, not only in the country, but in the world for that matter.
Here's an interesting thing now. The kicker has set the ball for an onside kick. Now, Washington State does not have their onside kick team in there.
But
see if he kicks it deep here.
Yeah, he's lining up to kick it away, though. Richmond McGee.
He need to stop on defense.
Yeah, he boots this one straight away. It's a pooch kick, tries to hit it into the hole, and it's caught by Moore. And Moore's had a good game tonight, but that was not one of his brighter plays.
Sammy's done everything right except that. Sammy catches a touchdown pass on the post, takes a lick, but he still dances, and Catches this football, steps out of bounds, but still gets a touchdown. And then the punt return, which was electrifying, did a lot of that on his own. Missed tackles and brought him in great field position.
148 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns for him tonight. Senior out of Mesa, Arizona. Jonathan Smith tries to turn the corner. Jonathan Smith, that's going to be a gain of close to 9 yards.
Yeah, Texas needs a stop right here. I mean, they got to. The clock now becomes a factor in this football game. Washington State will burn some time, but if they can get a stop, they're back in this football game. A lot of people are talking about that Nebraska job, Ron. They're mentioning Houston Nutt, the Arkansas coach.
Scott Lundy was the man in motion. Jonathan Smith, they give it back to him, and he's still running. Out across the 35 to the 38, and Giger comes up from the secondary, and it's a gain of 17. And Carl Reese simply cannot be very happy with that effort or lack of by his defense.
No, he's got to get a stop here. And then what Washington State is doing is running the lead, getting the offensive guard Millheiser, number 66, out in front of the running back Jonathan Smith.
From the shotgun, Jonathan Smith again. They do a very smart thing. They're moving the ball on the ground. Why not burn clock? You got a 13-point lead. Here's our rushing matchup, brought to you by AOL.
Jonathan Smith, 93 yards, 22 rushing attempts for Cedric Benson for 83 yards and a touchdown. Texas defense right now, you've got to get a stop.
Chris
You're
Bruin
win this football game.
Bruin in a tailback for the Cougars. Good job of picking up the blitz. Pass right over the middle to Benneman, and the tackle made by Aaron Harris.
Talked about Ron, Steve Spurrier being out there, and all the coaches that are in trouble and those that aren't in trouble being a little nervous next year. But Nebraska job, the one job still open. Houston Nutt from Arkansas has been mentioned. Al Saunders from the Chiefs been mentioned. Steve Spurrier is not going to go to Nebraska.
Kegel 17 of 28, 1 interception, 200 yards and a couple of touchdowns. And look at this right here by Chris Bruin.
I've been impressed with Chris Bruin. Now he knows how to find daylight on this little draw play. And he picks and finds his hole and jumps over his offensive lineman and picks up big yardage.
Good look at Bruin right there with the ball, taking it down to the 40-yard line of Texas, and it's 1st and 10 for the Cougars as we go under 11 minutes left to play in our ball game. He'll take it again, this time hit at the line of scrimmage. Aaron Harris, one of the first men to get there.
All you can do on the sideline is encourage your players and try to get them to stop this Washington State offense. Right now, when you look at Washington State, lost 3 games away from home. 7 turnovers in the last game that they lost to their arch rival. Didn't protect their quarterback in the last 5 games of the season. The offensive line has done a very good job on Texas.
Well, the illegal substitution called against Washington State, breaking the huddle with more than 11 players. And a part of that is if you have made a substitution, we talked about it in the Fort Worth Bowl, that if they are not within that 9-yard barrier of the line of scrimmage, the people that you substituted for, and you break the huddle, you are called for illegal substitution. That's only 5 penalties against the guys from Wazoo tonight.
They're 7 under.
Bill Doba pacing the sideline. You'd think that he was trailing in the ball game, but he certainly is not. Leads it 26-13. There's a hit on Brune, and he'll be stopped after maybe a couple. Mike Williams is the man who came over to get him.
I was talking to Bill Doba at practice, and we talked about Lee Corso, and he told me that when they were let go, and I'm using that term, let go. I don't want to use the word fired, because when you've been fired, that's not nice. But when they were let go at Indiana, he said Lee Corso took everybody's resume, and he went around to different programs trying to get his coaches jobs. That's loyalty. Bill Doba really speaks highly of Lee Corso.
Third down, they need to take it down to the 30-yard line. Texas showed blitz, but they stay at home, and he's going to go on top. And Darling did have a step, but the ball was thrown away from the receiver. Big Marcus Tubbs came in and made the hit.
Marcus Tubbs could be a first-round draft pick. Basher, good coverage right here. Took the inside fake, and lucky for him that the ball was thrown astray, but lucky for him, Tubbs got to Kegel.
Well, the punt. Texas having to rush the special teams on the field. Let's see if this one dies. It hits, and by golly, it does. That ball comes down to rest inside the 5-yard line. That is 4 times tonight that Bosler has done that. And you're right, Mike. He's got to be considered for player of the game. 8:59 remaining. We'll be right back. Well, again, another landmark that if you've been to San Diego, I'm sure you recognize. It's Balboa Park. It was established in 1868, and it is the 3rd oldest park in the United States. Some of the Longhorn band who has traveled across country. Bebo looks on and says, hey, I don't like the part of the party I got here for. I should have been here for the first half.
Should have been here early. Texas is in the end zone with Washington State fans standing.
Mock steps up, gets the pass, and it is almost intercepted by Eric Coleman.
I'll tell you what.
Reese Davis, let's check back in with you.
Well, Ron, as good news as it is for the Pac-10 an hour game over on ESPN2, UCLA against Fresno State, and the Bulldogs coming out smoky. Paul Penninger finding Bryson Sumlin's second touchdown of the night, and Pat Hill's team on top of the Bruins, 14-0 still in the first quarter.
Wow. They're calling the Pac-10 up. Break up the whack, Reese. They're winning everything.
Okay, Coleman almost made the interception. He now has 3 breakups on the night. Mock going to go on top with this one, looking for Roy Williams, and the ball is thrown out of bounds. Bruce coming with pressure again on Mock.
Jason David running stride for stride with Roy Williams. Good coverage.
So that stops the clock at the 8:48 mark. Washington State continues to hold on to a 13-point margin. But the Longhorns, they got to come up with 10 yards here and take it out to the 14, or they got to punt it away. Flag comes down. If that holding is in the end zone, that's a safety. Let's see if it is going to be holding that they're caught, and that's what it is. Now let's see if the safety signal is given. I think Jonathan Scott is the man that they flagged. I have a feeling that's what he's double checking on to make sure.
Holding. It's Texas in the end zone.
Safety.
Penalty is a safety.
Well, there are those 2 points if they missed on extra points, Mike. So now it's a 28-13 ball game.
It's going to be called on Jonathan Scott, number 73, I believe. Here's the hold. Could have given it to both guys.
Yep.
2 of them held it.
So now the free kick, and Washington State's going to get the ball anyway. So you put 2 on the board, 28-13, the new score.
That man's defense has played well tonight.
They're not only good, they're really confusing. It has been a difficult time for Texas quarterbacks. Not only have they not had enough time, but when they have had people open, they've either missed with the throw or receivers have dropped it.
Ron, their fans have been great here tonight. We came out on the train, and a bunch of them on the train. Go Cougs, they were saying. Every time somebody get on the train, fans are having a great time.
So Texas getting the special teams on. And Richmond McGee will punt it away on the free kick. And Sammy Moore, who already has 2 touchdown catches tonight and a long punt return, is one of the 2 deep backs along with Jason David. Jason David has a touchdown after he picked up a fumble and took it in. High spiral coming down at the 25 to Moore. Sammy tries to get it to the sideline and then is run out of bounds just short of the 40. Well, the beautifully illuminated Sanyo Lightship is flying overhead tonight, providing us with aerial pictures of San Diego, one of the largest blimps in the world. It is 165 feet long and 6 stories high. Flag was thrown in that melee on the far sideline. And they are pointing toward Texas.
Offside, the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, the re-kick.
Ron, I'm offside on the kick there. I'm just...
it's hard to be offside on a free kick.
You know, you line up offside. You try to, on the punt, you try to get a jump, and they got caught. And the X is not feeling too good there. Not feeling too good. Got to get all that paint off, too.
Roy Williams, very dejected look as he puts on that burnt orange jersey for the last time. Vince Young keeping his legs warm. Mike, I may have to get you to talk here for a couple of seconds.
All right, go ahead, take a break.
Here's the kick. And this is not a good one. Spiral's not going to turn over. Caught at the 42 by Moore. And then he is greeted just short of the 50-yard line.
I was looking at the Washington State players. Hunter's had a great game. Matt Kegel, you got to give him credit for the offense. Sammy Moore, number 3, has had a big game. Then on defense, Will Durting has been a great linebacker tonight. Eric Coleman, the safety, has been all over the place. I mean, you talk about some big games for this Washington State team. They have come to play.
From the shotgun, not surprising, they're going to go with the running play. And Jonathan Smith just has been unstoppable, particularly here in the second half. That's a gain of 9 yards as Giger came up and made the tackle.
But Jonathan Smith has really got hot tonight on the draw play, just a zone play inside. Here he catches the pass against Texas on a blitz and then shows his speed downfield. And then they run Kegel in motion, and Jonathan Smith takes a direct snap for a touchdown. Matt Kegel wisely letting that clock run down.
Jonathan Smith again, and he's going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage, not going to pick up the first down.
You want me to call a doctor?
No, I'm fine. I just all of a sudden lose my voice.
Drink some water, Ron. This Washington State, Bill Doba has to feel good about the preparation for this game. His team has played well on both sides of the field. And special teams, they won that game on special teams. They won the special teams battle. On the other side, Mack Brown's team has just missed some opportunities tonight.
They have not played hard in the second half, though, Mike, and it's become more evident midway from the third quarter on into the fourth here. Kegel's going to take the ball on a quarterback sneak, which is a little bit surprising with his shoulder conditions.
I tell you, I'm impressed with the bowl game here. What they've done here in this San Diego, and I think talking to the players and coaches, they've enjoyed their stay here. They really have had a great time. Of course, again, Texas has been here 3 out of the last 4 years.
It is an absolutely great bowl game, though, in a great city. Beautiful, beautiful place. Clock running at 6 minutes and 45 seconds left, and Washington State driving and with a commanding 28-13 lead.
Not the way you want to end up if you're Texas. Now, Washington State, a lot to build on. Texas and Mack Brown got to go back and get ready in the off-season program. They got a lot of players back next year. Got a lot of keep both those quarterbacks in action.
Mike, let me say something about this young guy right here. He missed the first week of bowl preparation. You talk about a kid who's a senior playing with a heavy heart. His mom has terminal cancer. And Marcus has had a difficult time and has come out here. He wanted to try to play in his last ball game, but you know where his heart and his head has been over the last couple of weeks. Ball hit at the line of scrimmage and is going to be intercepted by Texas at the 43-yard line. And I think Kalen Thornton is the man who got a hand on it.
Don't count the Texas Longhorns out yet. Now
counted them out.
That's a big play right there. You know, everything was lulled to sleep, and Crowder makes a play here.
So Thornton with the hit, and the other defensive end, Tim Crowder, is the man who comes up with the interception.
Now Chance Mock has got to get this football team. He's got to get the ball right here. It's circling him all night. Look at that cushion.
They come with a blitz from the other direction. It's thrown out in the flat, and that's David Thomas, the tight end, who makes the reception. Clock runs, 5 minutes and 25 seconds left to play.
Now Washington State will play a little bit more zone run. Make you work and make that clock go down. Don't want to give you a big play.
Blitz again, hit as he throws. It'll be third down.
What Chance Mock was hoping was going to happen, they brought him again. Donald Jackson. There's too many to pick up. We hit him in the back.
Nobody picked him. Yeah, Dirty. Nobody picked him up at all.
Vince Young just waits on the sideline. Dirting a lot of fans there wearing that number 51. Deserving of it.
Yeah, you can see why he has a big fan club. 5:05 left in the ball game. Third down. Texas needs to take it to the 47-yard line. Gets this one complete. Roy Williams, and it should be enough for the first down.
Real close on the spot. Carl Pema with good coverage. See where he makes that catch. He's well beyond the yellow line. Gave him the first down. Roy Williams, 6 catches, 20 yards. They've been able to hold him down for the big play.
.459 showing on the clock. Blitz comes again. A quick pass just thrown into the ground. Bo Scaife, the intended receiver, and it's just not much that the quarterback can do when you got that kind of pressure on you.
Not doing a good job of picking it up. Chance Mock, he can't throw with people in his face. Safety looms big now.
From the shotgun, throws the middle screen, and here's Roy Williams trying to pick up a block. And Roy comes all the way across field, and he's going to be tackled at the 45-yard line.
Roughing the passer on Washington State.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Just the defense. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. First down.
Coming up next, Sports Center with Stuart Scott and John Anderson. Spurrier quits. Leinart the leader. LeBron's 19th. And stay tuned for Postgame Extra on ESPN News.
I heard somebody say today that they were not sure whether Steve Spurrier quit or not. So that will be interesting to see. Here they come, safeties.
Puts it up, looking for Williams. There he is. Touchdown, Roy Williams. Jason David tried to prevent it, but too much of a mismatch with a 6'4", 6'4.5" receiver against a 5'8" corner.
Did a good job of protecting Chance Mock. And when you give him time to stutter move, stop and go, and Roy Williams hauls that football in against Jason David.
Eight catches now, 51 yards, and the touchdown which he just scored. Pino to try the extra point, trying to make it an 8-point ball game. And he does. So we'll take a timeout with 4:29 left in the ball game at our new score. Cougars 28, the Longhorns 20. Welcome back to the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. Let's see, 4:29 left to play, and it's an 8-point ball game. Are we headed for a typical Holiday Bowl finish? There have been some great ones.
Texas has 2 timeouts, so they can afford to kick it deep.
But he ties the NCAA record with 47 consecutive games with a reception. Ties him with Kareem Kelly of Southern Cal. And this kick is going to come down at the goal line, returned by Sammy Moore. And Moore gets blasted. He'll be tackled at the 15-yard line. Now, you talk about a defense that needs a stop.
Yeah. And go back to Kansas State on the Washington State on the interception. That's one they'd like to have back in full control of this football game and throw that interception, a tip ball. It gets Texas back in this game.
Five consecutive Holiday Bowls been decided by 7 points or less. Texas comes with a blitz of their own. Jonathan Smith knifed down at the line of scrimmage. Derek Johnson, the first man to get there with a hit. Now there's a man who has continued to play hard all night.
He's made some big plays. Slipped on the touchdown run by Jonathan Smith. But has played hard. You're right.
So second down and long for the Cougars. Kegel gets this one out. It's his tight end Benneman. And Benneman will be stopped at the 20-yard line. And what's coming up could be very close to the play of the game because it is third down and they need 5.
Keelan Thornton keeps making plays for Texas defense. But you're right. This is a play right here that'll decide this football game if Texas is going to get back in this thing.
Sports Center coming up next. Chance Mock waiting on the sideline. Will he be able to leave the wings and come back out in the field? We'll tell you after this play right here. And third down, and the ball is tipped and knocked away, and it's a great play by Nathan Vasher. Well, Mack Brown knows full well that with 3:06 to play, his ball club is going to get a chance.
Vasher, a real good punt returner. They have nobody covering the outside, so they're going to come after this punt.
Driving spiral, best kick of the night as far as distance from the 24. And he's going to come out of bounds at around the 45-yard line. So we'll take a timeout. 2:54 left in the ball game. Longhorns trail by 8. 8-point ball game. Washington State on top, but it's been the defense that has made the difference, and they got to make a stand one more time, Mike.
Yeah, they've been after Vince Young early in the ball game. They set the tempo of this game on the first play. Then they make good hit and fumble the ball and pick up the touchdown and the defensive touchdown. Then they get to safety, which is really big right now in this football game. Instead of a 6-point lead, it's 8 points on the holding.
Now you look at 5 sacks, 1 safety. They held Texas 285 total yards, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 for a touchdown. And the passing yardage 117 for the Longhorns.
Lead the nation in turnovers, forcing turnovers.
Mock just throws this one away out of bounds. Durding was the guy coming with the pressure.
He plays hard every play. Talked about him. It wasn't recruited. No one could recruit him because he didn't have a phone. Had to go down to his mile or 2 away to get the phone for any coach to call in.
Okay, he was really good in a loss against Notre Dame. He had 12 tackles, 3 sacks, and forced a fumble. He's doesn't have numbers quite that big tonight, but it's darn close to it. He's been all over the field. Drills this one, throws it low, but it was trapped. So the pass goes incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 10 as B.J. Johnson did everything he could to come up with the football.
Yeah, low throw by Chance Mock. Johnson tried to shortstop play, make the play, but couldn't get his, went right through his hands.
Texas tonight, 7 of 19 on 3rd down conversion. Puts it on top. Williams is open again. He's got it at the 15. Tries to get by the tackler. Puts out a stiff arm. Steps out of bounds at the 11-yard line.
Well, we talked about the ball game at halftime. We talked about 3 catches for 5 yards. And Texas now is being able to get the ball to Roy Williams. Just runs by him. Jason David, number 29. Safety didn't get over. Virgil Williams.
See Brett Robin trying to come over and desperately get a block for his teammate. It is 1st and 10. The ball is just outside the 10-yard line, and Cedric Benson has come into the backfield at tailback. Pumps it. Going to go for the end zone in the fade route. He just overthrew it, and you could see Sloan Thomas.
Boy, he had him too.
Had him turned around, and the ball is overthrown. Pena trying to cover.
Chance Mock has given Texas the best chance to win with his passing attack. Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator, 2 boosts down from us, making the play calls through Mack Brown, the head coach.
Dunning, the place kicker for Washington State, and I'm sure he's thinking, yeah, we got the safety to make up for it, but if I'd made any one of those extra points, it'd be a 2-score ball game. Mock. He has his arm hit as the ball comes loose, and they drop the beanbag. They're saying it was not a forward pass. It's a turnover. Achelanu is the man who forced the play, and Durding came up with the recovery.
Well, the defense stepped up one more time. It looked like a throw. It looked like he was throwing the football. Unless the ball slipped out of his hand. See Chance Mock rolling to the right again under pressure.
He dropped the ball. It came out of his hand.
Boy, good pressure by Washington State. Achelanu.
Bill Doba, he said, I'm going to leave all the emotion and jumping around to Robbie.
Texas still with 2 timeouts. They can force this ball one more time if they can stop him.
Well, Smith, the ball carrier. Kalen Thornton, who has really played a tough ball game tonight, will make the tackle for the Longhorns, and the clock is about to run under 2 minutes.
With the pressure from Washington State tonight against the quarterbacks of Texas, just had their way. Call timeout right after this play.
Jonathan Smith hit behind the line of scrimmage. Will be stopped at the 40. Kalen Thornton again. And Texas does that. They call the timeout.
Let's go back and look at that play, Ron. And Chance Mock drop back pass, pump and go, but he was forced out by Durding. Again, and then there's a hit. The ball comes loose, and number 51, go figure. I mean, he has played with a motor all night. Will Durding. He never stops. You know, bet there's a lot of pro coaches who want to make sure he's got a phone in his house now.
Well, tonight our players of the game is brought to you by Capital One, and it is Eric Coleman and Kyle Bosler, the punter. 5 punts inside the 20, 4 of those inside the 5 for Coleman. 8 tackles, a forced fumble that resulted in a Washington State touchdown, and he also had 3 pass breakups.
Well, he's been all over the field, and Bosler, the punter, has just gave a clinic on punting tonight to all the young punters out there watching this game.
So 1:29 left in the ball game. You know, keep it on the ground with Smith again.
Jonathan Smith, the ball carrier.
Aaron Harris there on the stop for Texas, and the Longhorns use the timeout to stop it at 1:22 on the 3rd down.
Chance Mock going to get one more shot, Ron, to get back get his team down this football field.
3 times Texas got inside the 15-yard line and came away with a total of 6 points.
You know, they missed opportunities.
Yeah.
And, of course, that guy's a lot of the reason, number 51, Dirty. Chance Mock led an 86-yard game-winning drive against Texas Tech. So he's been there before. Pressure again all night on the quarterbacks of Texas. Young, Mock, and then they do a good job of forcing turnovers, leading forced turnovers in the country.
You know, and the thing that's impressive, you talk about how hard Dirting has played. That was Dirting who came all the way across the field and hit Roy Williams on that last play on the touchdown that was scored by the defensive back, trying to help out his teammate. Texas very close to blocking that one.
Real close.
And Michael Huff is the man who is disappointed because he thought that he was going to be able to get to it. Coming up next, Sports Center with Stuart Scott and John Anderson. Spurrier quits. Leinart the leader, and LeBron's 19th. Stay tuned for Postgame Extra on ESPN News. .115 to play.
You know one thing, Roy Williams is not going to be, he's going to have a safety over the top of this corner.
Well, I think he's at the top of the screen, Mike. Yeah. I think they got him out to the right this time.
Wherever they got him, they're going to have a safety over the top of him.
Ball thrown complete right over the middle to the 41-yard line. Catch made by B.J. Johnson, good for 15 yards.
Here's what you get when you get too deep right now. You got a too deep coverage, so you have the inside routes. Washington State lining up too deep, trying to get some contact on the wide receivers.
Just has to throw this one away, and it's Dirting again who's coming with the pressure.
I tell you, I don't know if he's an All-American, but he's an All-American in my book. Will Dirting is one of the best football players I've seen all year. Just never stops, always makes plays. Guy's unbelievable. He's the headliner in that defense.
Got 6 tackles, 1 fumble recovery. And he has a lot of pressures in this ball game. Got the pass complete. That's B.J. Johnson. Good for the first down across midfield. And Dirting again applying the pressure on Chance Mock. Clock shows 43 seconds left.
The inside routes again. Virgil Williams makes a play. Got to be ready to go when they get those chains set.
Cedric Benson, number 32, checks back into the lineup. Mock has his arm hit, and he drops the football and gets on it at the 35-yard line. Achelano was the man who came in and knocked it out of his hand. He'll spike it and stop it with 14 seconds on the clock.
Well, again, the Washington State defense, I want to give them the praises tonight. Bill Doba's team defensively, they make plays. They stay after you the whole game. Achelano comes by, strips the quarterback. They got an active coach and they got an active defense.
They're going to have to hurry here. 1 second, barely got it off. Under pressure again. What else is new? Achelano is the man who comes. Achelano is going to wrap it up. 4 seconds down to 3. Texas cannot stop the clock. That is the 8th sack of the night. 8 of them by Washington State. the final score, Washington State 28 and Texas 20. Coming up next on ESPN, it's SportsCenter. And over on ESPN News, it is post-game extra. For more, log on to ESPN.com, your home for college football on the internet. And now for Mike Gottfried, Adrian Karsten, and our entire crew, I'm Ron Franklin. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Good night, everybody, from San Diego, California.